What's good, people? Whether it's an earbud at work, in between class, while you're working out, or sitting on your ass, I want to welcome you to the CharlieGtv Podcast. And we have a hell of a show lined up here for you today, right? It's October 20th, you know what I mean? And the weather got cold and then got warm again for no reason. I don't know, can't make his mind up, but that's Michigan weather for you. You know what I mean? Welcome everybody on YouTube. Remember to like and subscribe. You know, your boy working hard, trying to drop weekly, trying to drop clips every day, doing the best I can, you heard? You know what I mean? We're going to talk about a lot today. We're going to talk about the music industry, producing music, being in front and behind scenes. You know what I mean? We're going to talk about a little bit about dating later on in the podcast and a whole bunch of other subjects. You know what I mean? And you know Charles always has a couple headlines for you via ChatGPT. We're going to see if she can act right today. But, yeah, without further ado, I have to introduce the very, very cool guest that we have on here today. Now, today on the podcast, we're thrilled to welcome, you know what I mean, a young man who's not just a music producer. He's a creative force in challenging the music landscape from his Detroit roots. You know what I mean? With his distinctive blend of poetic lyricism and hip-hop and experimental sounds and the blending of different genres, you know what I mean? He's certainly a highly, highly creative individual. And he's amassed over 50 million streams across platforms. I am very, very honored and blessed to welcome none other than J Squared.
Hi. What an illustrious, so beautiful. Thank you so much. Yeah. I'm super grateful to be here, dude.
Thanks for coming.
Yeah, seriously.
All right, so we start every podcast with what I call the Watch This Week.
Okay.
Now, it could be a TV show, a movie, an anime, or like maybe a YouTube channel that caught your mind. But what did you watch this week that came across your consciousness that you want to relate to the people or recommend?
Well, something I haven't watched yet, but it's something that's coming out today. Have you seen The Penguin?
No.
Oh, my goodness. The Penguin is probably one of the best shows that I've seen, bar none. And
it's a
HBO.
show?
Yes. So
it's on HBO?
Yes. It's with like Robert Pattinson's Batman.
Oh, okay.
And, like that Penguin of Colin Farrell. He has his own show and he does not even look like him, and it's brilliant. The writing, the cinematography, the story.
Go watch it.
Right after this, it should already be out, but it's amazing.
I already know it's a great show. Let me tell you how I know. Number one, that Batman movie with Robert Pattinson, even though I haven't seen it just because it's 3 hours, I've heard nothing but good things about it.
Yes.
You know, that's number one. Number two, HBO has made how many of my favorite shows that I enjoyed. You
They never miss.
Yeah, I'm telling you, from the Wire back in the day, you know what I'm saying, to people that love The Sopranos.
Yep.
I was watching Sex and the City when I shouldn't have been. You know what I'm saying? All the way to Game of Thrones, to you name it. They've had so many like top tier shows that if HBO's coming out with some, I normally give it a shot.
Yeah.
And with that pedigree it already has behind it from the movie, go watch The Penguin. I'm sure it's gonna be.
It's masterful. But if we're talking about a show that is already out that I've seen, a show that I usually just go back to every once in a while is Insecure.
Wow, yep. Yeah. Another one by HBO. Once again, the music in that show, I've seen all of Insecure. Yeah. Insecure was a great series.
Oh my goodness.
You know
Issa and like her whole team with Hooray and everything like that has been like, it's just a masterclass in just how to represent us and kind of like,
I think so.
You know what I mean?
I love it.
It's so beautiful.
I feel like in that show, for whatever reason, HBO trusted Issa Rae to make her vision, and then Issa Rae did a good job of not betraying that trust by knocking it out the park. Yeah. You know what I mean? So it was a great relationship. You know what I mean? It is a great show. Go watch Insecure as well.
Watch
Insecure. The music, the cut, everything in that show. It's part of what inspires me to do what I do as a production company, because I want to make movies one day. I want to make shows one day. You know what I mean? I have a lot of ideas and things that I want to do, but I also have a lot to learn as far as the filmmaking things, the different techniques, even though I've been learning. Yeah. You know what I mean? But productions like her, we're getting attention just from her YouTube channel, from the Awkward Black Girl.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's an inspiring-ass story.
Yeah, and we're creatives, you know? Yeah. We create. I think that is when one creator sees another person creating, we kind of have like that unspoken law or like that unspoken synergy. Like, I get you. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, it's beautiful.
It really is.
Shout out to Issa Rae.
Shout out to Issa Rae doing your damn thing. You know what I mean? So I'll start with a little bit of Metro Detroit news. So block parties was like a thing growing up for me. You know what I mean? There was a shooting in Detroit that led to block parties being shut down. You know what I mean? So how do you feel about block parties? Did you ever go to them growing up? What's your take on block parties as a native Detroiter?
You know, that's a great question. I was very much a homebody for the most part. Like I
wasn't on the block.
I was not on the block, unfortunately. I had family members that were, but I was not on the block, unfortunately. But in the moments when I knew I wanted to be, I think I do understand how integral they are for just community building in general. So I understand the whole, like, you know, it just feels like another way for people to just kind of regulate what Black folks is doing.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's very disappointing, especially here, knowing good and well like Detroit is on this resurgence and everything like that. And in many beautiful ways. I use quotes because of the, you know, whatever.
You feel like it's a little selective within the resurgence.
You know,
some areas are more resurgent than others.
Yeah, it's some areas definitely got a little more resurgence than others.
Yeah,
but
for sure.
I do understand how important it is to, you know, cultivate community just based on your own backyard. You know, so I would argue that, you know, where the city is trying to do whatever they're trying to do, they should just at least be mindful of the people that they're doing it with.
Yeah.
And, you know, we kind of know how that story can tend to go.
Exactly. You know what I mean? I will say, I thought New York had a good block party culture growing up, you know what I mean? But even though there's more people in New York, in Brooklyn, I've never seen block parties like I've seen in Detroit.
Oh, yeah.
Detroit's ability to fill up a block.
Yes.
You would think that I would have seen more crowds fill up blocks in New York, but nah, Detroit has beaten.
We step out.
Yeah. Like the whole, like they got to watch traffic. The whole block, I say the whole block be like flooded with people.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like the
Parks.
whole block. I'd be like, where are all these people? Like so many, when there's a party going, like Detroit loves to party.
We show up.
I'm saying they show up.
We show up and
they
show the hell
up
out,
for
dude.
sure. You
Absolutely.
know what I mean? So I hope the block party culture can get back to what it was and what it's always been trying to be. You know what I mean? But absolutely. I was going to ask you about this. We talked about it a little bit before the podcast. How do you feel about Detroit sports? You know what I mean? The athletes are doing their thing right now. I know the Tigers just got them.
Oh, the Tigers.
Sad.
I am such a big MLB fan.
Okay, that hurt.
So a little backstory or whatever, but I've been working in advertising at Wyden and Kennedy. Shout out to Wyden and Kennedy. They made a lot of cool ads with like Nike and Instagram and KFC and cool shit like that. But I was on the MLB account for the most part. Like now, I was always kind of interested in baseball, but I never kind of got into sports. I'm like, I want to rap. Mama, I want to sing.
Yeah,
you know, like that was kind of the world that I wanted to be in. But baseball was always a fun outlet, and just seeing the Tigers going through and doing what they were doing for this season, it was heartbreaking to see how they get to that point and then just get cut. But just to know that we even got that far from so long ago, was super refreshing. The Lions. Don't even get me started on the Lions.
The Lions.
Don't even get me started.
We're going to the Super Bowl.
We are going to the Super Bowl.
All right.
Okay.
What you heard?
Yeah. Count us in Louisiana. What's up, Kendrick?
What's
up? What up, though? We out here. Like, we here. Like, but yeah, the Lions are doing their thing, dude.
They are.
Oh my goodness. And it's like Dan Campbell. I just feel like Dan Campbell is just the fuck around and find out coach. And I'm just loving that. No, we ain't kicking nothing fourth down. We running it.
He's going for it. Balls to the wall.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
like
and,
come on, man. Yes.
You gotta respect that. I mean, sometimes the gambles don't work out and then you get mad at them. But the truth is the amount of, you know, the amount of brass he's shown in his decision making, you know what I mean? The amount of, you know what I mean, courage he puts in, faith he puts in the team to get the job done.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I have a feeling that Dan Campbell is one of those coaches that you want to play hard for.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Because he'll fire up for you too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I used to play sports, and that mattered a lot. Like, my head coach mattered a lot. Like, it did affect how much effort I put into it personally. Because, you know, when I had the head coach, I wasn't that cool with, but I was cool with the assistant coach. You know what I'm saying? I was playing hard for the assistant coach. You know what I'm saying? And the assistant coach leaving is one of the reasons I didn't even play my senior year. I was just like, man, I don't feel like they could do it.
Because it's an energy thing.
Yeah.
Like, it's especially in the city of Detroit. Like, we're very much like, now that we're like, it felt like there was a point in time. There's always been like Lions loyalists, of course, but everybody had their own little favorite team here and there.
Yeah.
But as of recent, in the last couple of years, Detroit is showing up for Detroit.
Oh, yeah.
You can't tell us nothing
about the Lions. No.
Yeah,
and
nothing.
I'm telling you, if you were a blind person last year, you could be blind and deaf, all right? But if you were in Detroit when we were in the playoffs last year,
come on.
A blind deaf person would be like, something's happening. Something, I can feel it. Something, I feel the
there's some energy here.
There's energy. Something's different. What's happening? Something happening right now? Yeah, like I said,
somebody check my pulse.
It was like
electric.
I swear the crime was down.
Yep. It was a very much kumbaya.
It was like,
everyone's holding hands.
Hey, we up. Like, it was like a reason to celebrate. I bet all the bars made more money every weekend.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like there was no trouble in Detroit when the Lions was in the playoffs.
And that's what we plan on doing again.
I'm telling you, the way that it's really. I've never seen a sports team affect the city the way the Lions do. Woo. You know what I mean? Maybe I just haven't been to other because I've been in New York. New Yorkers don't care a lot. Giants win it. You ain't feel it like that. When I was there when and that's when Eli beat Tom Brady. You know what I mean? I was in New York for that. I was we was hype.
Yeah.
But our hypeness ain't got nothing on the Lions being in the playoffs in Detroit. So it's just different.
It can't.
It's just different, man. Detroit got that spirit.
We do. It's the spirit of Detroit.
It is.
We're just sitting there, we're holding the thing. That's how I feel. Like anytime when the sports teams be doing it, I just hold the city in that ball of sun or whatever.
Yeah, for real. It's hilarious.
Very much like that.
For real. What you call it? So what was it like for you growing up? Was it a single-parent household? Did grandma raise you? Did you have a lot of brothers and sisters?
Man, great question. So, yeah. All right. Yeah, we're getting into that, you know. Shout out to my therapist. Just left with my therapist yesterday. What's up, Tim? I did grow up in a single-parent household. My dad and mom got divorced when I was like 4. And I'm the oldest of I have 2 sisters and 2 brothers, a brother and sister on my mom's side and a brother and sister on my dad's side.
Wow.
And it was I got raised by my dad. My dad was fire department, 35 years in the fire department.
Wow.
Given to the city of Detroit. Yeah. Shout out to Dad, you know.
For real.
For real, because man, that man has worked hard for everything he's done and raised 3 kids by himself.
Wow.
Yeah, that's one thing that I can sit here and just look at and just be like, man, I sometimes I'll just sit there and just look at my dad. I'm just like, I don't know how he did it.
Yeah.
I don't know how. Because for me, I'm in this department where I don't have any kids and I'm just like, I don't think that's going to be for me. Yeah, I think my legacy ends with me.
You still got 2 brothers. Hopefully they get it popping.
And I do have tons of nieces and nephews from my brothers and sisters. So I'm living vicariously through them. Yeah. And being an uncle is even wilder. But my dad has been there for a lot of it. And I have a pretty growing relationship with my mom too. But you know how divorced families be.
Yeah, sometimes sometimes feel like you pick a side sometimes, or like that a little.
Yeah.
But statistically speaking, first of all, it's a great thing to have your father in your life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I'm not trying to pin the 2 against each other, but statistically speaking, between who generally has better outcomes with their kids, if it's between a single father raising their kids and the single mother raising their kids. Sorry to say that the fathers be winning most of the time.
Hey,
fathers win.
Yeah, and the thing, shout out to dads, And I think the thing that is really tough to kind of navigate, especially in our community, is it's I don't know if I'm very much hip to ads and stuff like that. So I don't know if you've seen this new Heinz ketchup ad that has popped up. Oh my God! So it's pretty much. It's an ad about ketchup of a black woman getting married to this white dude, and the white dude's mom and dad were there, but the black woman's mother was there. The father wasn't there.
Wow!
And it's just y'all put that up on, and no black folks around for that. I just think there should be a lot more people kind of advocating for black fathers and understanding the importance of black fathers. I wouldn't know what the hell I'd be doing if I didn't have my dad, dude.
I'm telling you,
you know
having your dad in your life is so. I mean, I knew my dad, but he wasn't he was in Jamaica. He wasn't like there raising me all the time. So having a dad in your life is very important. And it's very good. It's better for you. You know what I'm saying?
And honestly, like it's super tough to kind of be. It's tough to kind of grow as a man. I don't know that man is kind of like a hot button topic to be whatever what masculinity is.
Yeah.
But at the same time, without the understanding of masculinity and femininity, it's tough to kind of navigate life without that sort of understanding of assertiveness and discipline and when to be stern, when to be courageous, when to be like my dad had this quote, and this was one time. So I never thought I was going to get my driver's license. Like
in the Motor City?
In the Motor City.
See, in New York, I felt that way. You know what I'm saying? 'Cause I don't need it.
But it was more so just me just being discouraged on not knowing how to drive. So like my first time taking my driver's test, I was way too slow. I was just driving like, oh my goodness, just, hitting every stop sign and every light. Yeah. Second time I took it, I was too fast. Like I bolted out. I'm like, well, I know I got to be more fast. And then it was like, nope, we're failing you immediately. And I remember going up to my dad, and I just went up to him, and I was just like it's with full confidence. I'm like, I don't think I'm ever going to get my license. No. And in a purest dad fashion, he's just like, what the fuck? Can I cuss?
Yeah.
I was saying, I didn't mean, fuck, my bad.
Yeah, you good.
My dad was like, what the fuck? Like, just keep fucking up till you get it.
Yeah.
And just hearing him say that, just for me to kind of have the permission to fail is like one of those things that I feel like we don't get often.
Yeah.
Or at least we don't hear the feeling of being able to be black. And the narrative is like, man, you got to work twice as hard and you can't fuck up.
Yeah.
So there's this rigidness that kind of comes with all the decisions that you make. And I use that story to kind of like, preamble and say like without my dad on just not only that moment, but many other moments in my life, I don't think I would have had the courageousness to be able to try new things and bump my head and be able to still stand up as a man.
Exactly.
Be like,
exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, really recover. You know what I mean? And to keep going, because he understands the perseverance that it takes to keep going and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Whereas like, mothers just want to like keep you safe. They just want to like coddle you in a way. They don't really push you. Yeah. Like I heard this other father in this podcast. He was talking about how, because he has like 2 boys, I think 3 boys or something. He says, whenever my boys are hurt, they go to mommy. All right, but when they like want to have fun, they always come to dad. Yeah, because dad wasn't gonna let me have fun. Dad's gonna let me test my limits. Yeah, mom's not gonna let me test my limits and have as much fun. She's gonna try to keep me too safe. And you know what I mean. Whereas your dad knows that the only way you're gonna learn is by bumping your head.
Yeah, you got to, and it feels good that he gave me the grace to be able to like he has a saying where he'll just be like, man, son, like, if you couldn't rap, I'd tell you. And I'm like, oh, thank God. I'm so glad I got at least that right.
Yeah.
But and now that I'm older now, especially like with just how life has kind of been, like, I'm trying to understand the dynamics of just how important I think growing up, like, I just turned 30. Shout out to the 94 babies.
Yeah, we turned 30 this year.
Yeah. Shout out to the 94 babies. We here.
It was a special year.
It's a real, we going crazy. Year of the dog. What up, dog? We really make it happen.
We here.
But we had to pop our shit. We just had to pop our shit. But the thing that I'm really trying to like really understand for myself, like just as a growing man, and like I never really understood how integral like parents are in your life. Mm-hmm. Like your mom is just your mom and your dad's just your dad, you know, and your dad is one way and your mom is one way, and you kind of just navigate through that, but you never really understand how like that affects you, but also at the same time, like how to, you never really get the time to like truly appreciate it until you get older. Like when I think about just so many absentee fathers and people who aren't in their lives, I'm like, my dad didn't have to do shit.
Yeah.
Like he didn't have to do anything, but he chose to do so. And just off of the strength of, honoring his commitments. Yeah. And like, I think it's been super important for me just as an adult just to try to like be more attentive with my relationship with my mother and my father, and understand like while they're here, I need to learn everything I need to know about them, and I want to know all the stories and everything, you know, and then so that way, if I ever have kids, it might not ever happen. Just so you know,
you still got time. You still got time. But I ain't got no kids either yet. But you know, I want them, but I just know I can't afford them right now.
I think of so many different implications about how to raise a kid, and I guess like I know I'm an overthinker sometimes, so like I'm immediately thinking like, what about the socioeconomic state of the world, and like what will this be like in 20 years? I don't even know what the world's going to be. Robots, you know, AI.
Exactly. We are in a. I keep saying this. I keep saying this in all of the last 3 months. I've been saying we are in a sci-fi movie.
Yeah.
We're in one.
This is it is one. As long as we're not in Terminator just yet.
I don't know which one we in. I don't know how the story gonna end. Yeah. I just know we are in a sci-fi movie.
Most definitely. But at the same time, you know, there's this other side of it where I'm like, I love just to see. I remember dial-up. Mm-hmm. Like I remember gateway computers. You know,
I remember when the internet made sound. You know, when the house line would cut off the internet type shit.
Yes,
I remember when my uncle was on, because I wasn't on at the time, but I remember seeing him talk to AOL chat. You know what I mean? I think I had AIM. I was on AIM at one point. AIM chat way back in the day
AIM.
when they had their sidekicks and shit back.
Shout out to AIM.
Y'all don't know what AIM chat. Y'all don't know what that was. AIM was popping at one point. Y'all don't even know what. Y'all don't know.
Y'all don't know nothing about AIM. Like just get hip on AIM before you even further this here podcast. No, like that's like. That to me is like super important, you know, like I really want to be able to say like I learned a lot from both of my parents and I learned a lot with myself and all the things that I've done. So like my daughter or son could watch this, you know, podcast and be like, hey, man, look at that. He did his thing. Like, you know, and it, all because of grandma and grandpa. That's so dope, you know, like so it at a point in time, overarching too long didn't read a bridge version. Yeah, my dad was a very pivotal point and part in my life, and I'm growing to like me and my mom have like a growing relationship. It's like it's weird because like, you know, when you just living with pops, you know, you don't have the time to really kick it with your mom and stuff like that. And there's just lore, and of course, like all families do have, but it's been really dope just to have that refreshing sort of like newfound relationship, you know, and trying to make that thing grow. You know?
That's amazing. I respect that. You know what I mean? Me and my mother, because I was raised by my mother, and you know, me and my mother had a great relationship pretty much my whole life up until when I really started trying to like branch out and do my own thing. When I finally woke up at 26, 27, you know what I mean? And I finally put my vision on what I wanted to do. You know what I mean? Ever since then, we've been bumping heads just a little bit. Just because her advice is always like, you're working my son too hard. You're doing too much. You could come move back in. You could calm down. Like soon, like literally. So I moved out maybe like in May or June. You know what I mean, for the second time, because I moved out one time when I was with a girl I was with. You know what I mean? I got my first apartment with her. We moved in together.
Same.
We broke up. I moved back with my mom for like a year. Finally got my own apartment. Moved back out. You know what I mean? And I just got into a car crash, and I got my cars in the shop. And of course, my mom's like, you know, you could just say screw it to the rent, just move back if you need to. You know what I mean? And it's like, I appreciate you. I love you for offering that. But I this constant like it's okay to take your foot off the gas pedal type energy. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like I appreciate you, but I know I need to fight through this. I need to problem solve with. I can't just keep running to mommy every time something goes wrong. I can't keep I can't roll back. Like, you know, I gotta figure out how to persevere through it and find a way forward.
Oh my
you know what I mean?
Yes.
I can't just, because you're not going to be here one day. And then I need to be able to navigate hard things happening without having some safety net. When there's not always going to be no safety net. You know what I mean? So I just see it as like, it's like making me like it's almost an invitation to be weak.
Yeah.
To a degree.
And that, I think I can definitely see that, like, because I think the thing that we we as like, 90s babies coming into our 30s and stuff like that, we understand how that just using social media as an example as to how like psyoped and distracted we are towards things and how much it can truly nullify and pacify our drive.
Yeah.
And we're often kind of being attacked in many different ways and shapes and forms to the point where everything is kind of giving you just take a break, relax, and everything like that. And I think it's really important to kind of like take time for yourself to recharge and like, instead of being in the hustle and bustle. But you and I understand that this game, or at least, the game of life in general, is very much contingent upon, like how much, fervor in like in how much energy you're putting into the things that you're doing. So I know that you don't condemn Mom for it, but at the same time, she just loves you.
Yeah, she just loves me trying to look out for her boy. I understand that, you know what I mean? But I know that these situations I'm going through is what's going to help me deal with the next situations I go through.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Because you got to learn. You got to learn by bumping your head. You know what I mean? It just hurts for her to see me bump my head, I guess. You know what I'm saying? But I got to do it. I got to do it. It's the only way I'm going to get better. It's the only way I'm going to learn and build that confidence. Every time I've come back from something, every time I've conquered a problem, I figured something out, my confidence raises. You know what I'm saying? Like when I was telling you, trying to match up the audio with this thing, with figuring that out. You know, one time I made a mistake and I shot a podcast in 4 times slow motion. So when I got home to look at
I would have been sick.
When I got home and I was looking at the footage, everyone was like, oh, and my memory card, because I was wondering why my memory card stopped at 3 hours. I thought I had more time than that. Come to find out I actually recorded 9 hours of footage in 3 hours because it was so slow motion. You know what I mean? So I got home and my laptop couldn't take the files. The file was because it's 9 hours of 4K footage in slow motion. And it's like, now the audio was recorded in regular time because it's separate recorded. So I had to figure out how to, put it all together. I was just so, but since I figured that out, figured out the thing before, like each problem sucks when it comes. But once you solve it, you're like, well, I'm a little more capable, ain't I? You know what I'm saying?
And
so
that's, I think, so a cool thing about where I used to work at Wyden and Kennedy in Portland, Oregon, and they had like this big mural on the wall that said "Fail harder."
Yeah,
and I think that for creatives, especially creatives, us creatives, we really need kind of the grace to be able to tell ourselves, "Fuck it, just fuck up, just mess up," because messing up kind of has the indication that you've attempted. There's so many people who don't attempt. Yeah,
I know. One of my slogans. I got a couple slogans that I've always say to myself, and I don't have any tattoos, but a couple of these things, I've been thinking about. Especially there was one that I when I got into the car crash, my finances was looking all crazy. I was like, man, you know what I mean? One of them is one that speaks to what you was just talking about is progress over perfection. Progress over perfection.
Absolutely.
Is it perfect?
Yeah.
Nah. Is it better than it was a week or two ago? Yeah. That's progress. So progress over perfection. You know what I'm saying? Long as you're improving by some percentage points every week.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That'll eventually add up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
There's so many books, so many beautiful books on just the understanding of like progress and like how important it is to kind of like take, just even the smallest incremental steps.
Yeah.
Like I was, of course, Atomic Habits with James Clear is like, the gospel, and it comes down to just the very small like steps. But then you got like more internal things like Jason Wilson has Cry Like a Man.
Yeah.
That's probably one of the best books I've ever read.
It sounds like very interesting.
Yeah. Shout out to Jason Wilson. He's from Detroit too.
Awesome.
And he has a quote in there, and I hope that I'm not butchering it, but I've been saying this to myself that he mainly talks a lot about just the personal imprisonment that we kind of put ourselves in as Black men, and kind of like how we don't have the capability to kind of showcase our emotions in the correct sort of fashion, and like trying to get in between the goddamn everybody calling me. I want to.
They won't
funny
you.
Enough,
they won't you.
Yeah. Shout out, hey, just because I hung up. and y'all gonna see this. No, like, don't be mad at me. Y'all call during the podcast. Yeah. So Jason Wilson has this book, and it's called "Cry Like a Man," where he pretty much talks about like the mental incarceration that we kind of suppress on ourselves with our emotions, and just like not knowing the difference between aggression and assertiveness, and or being courageous but compassionate. Yeah. And he has a quote that he says, I'm not a perfect man, but a progressing man. So it's very much resonates exactly with what you're saying.
I feel exactly what you're saying. Yeah. I feel that a lot.
Shout out to Jason Wilson.
Very important. Very important. You know what I mean? So the next question I'd have for you here was, who were you in high school? What kind of kids did you hang out with? The nerds, the athletes, the popular kids, the emo crowd, or were you a loner? Wow. Who was you hanging out with? What was high school like?
Wow. Okay, so I went to Henry Ford Academy in Dearborn, and I had the option to go to Mumford or Henry Ford Academy. Most of my friends was at Mumford, but I'm like, I want to try something new, so I went to Henry Ford Academy. I kind of hung out with a little bit of everybody, like. I used to always kind of say, like, I was the kid who kind of knew everybody's name, but I don't think everybody probably knew mine for the most part. Yeah. But I mainly gravitated towards nerds. I'm not going to lie to you. I play video games all day. Like, I'm very much familiar with, you know, the anime weeaboo niggas running down the street. Like, running through halls and stuff. Like, that's definitely my, like, circle. But at the same time, like it's very much fun to hang out with people who only want to think about money. Yeah. I'm like, that's like, I used to sell chips and candy and pop and shit in high school, and it was like, it was super fun. High school is so weird to think about. Like, 'cause 2012 is when you did it?
2012. That's when my world ended.
Yeah. All right. Everything changed.
Everything changed
there.
For real. Dead ass. The world ended in 2012.
Yeah, for real. For real. The Mayan calendar. Oh my God. Like, just even thinking about how all of those things were happening at that same time in high school.
Yeah.
Like, it's
guys, why go to class? It's over.
It's over with. It's over with. Coney 2012. It's happening.
It's done.
It's over with. It's all happening.
Party now while you can.
Yeah, for real. But all in all, high school was like, it used to just be super fun to kind of just learn about people. And I was kind of like, I guess getting out of high school, I was very much a delinquent for the most part. But at the same time, I used to try to hang out with as many people as I could. Yeah. But mainly, I started messing around with the anime folks. Shout out to anime. Shout out to My Hero Academia.
Yeah, that's one of my favorites right now. I ain't gonna lie, I'm still waiting on the last two Japanese ones to be put in the dub, you know what I mean, for this last season. Yep. And I'm mad I heard the manga just ended because, like, that sucks. That means the next season I heard they might even just do a movie instead of a next season. I've heard rumors, but either way, it's about to end. Yeah. It's terrible.
You know what? I got a hot take. And you can clip this one up. Anime niggas. It is okay for people to watch dub, okay? Can we just accept that dubs are okay? But it doesn't have the same amount of intensity as a sub, and we got that.
I agree.
We got that. Yeah. That's fine. You're dividing us right now.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Real. Like, can we just stop with the argument?
And can't none of y'all ever argue for Dragon Ball Z Japanese? You know that don't sound like Goku.
Come on now.
Stop it.
Stop.
You want that little screaming? You want that over the dub? Chill.
You want Saiyans.
That's what you want.
Like, I'm the Prince of Saiyans.
Yeah.
That's what you want.
Yeah, that's what you want.
So, let's just understand. And if we want to talk it out in the comments, CharlieGtv.
Yeah.
But let's try to find a peaceful medium in the dub versus sub argument. I'm very much tired.
Crazy.
Of it.
Yeah, for real.
It's done.
I do it in I call it the 3 levels of anime fan.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Where I'm like, all right, level 1, you will watch the dubs, but you won't ever watch the subs.
Nah.
You know what I mean? Level 2 is, I say, you watch the subs, you know what I'm saying? Maybe dabble a little dubs, but you mostly watch the subs. Mm-hmm. Level 3, and I learned I was not going to be this level in high school when I first time somebody handed me a manga, and I was like, you got to read right to left and up down. I was like, nah. I ain't about to read right to left. I don't care how much I love.
I was a right to left nigga. I'm not gonna lie to you. Shout out to
level
Rurouni
3 anime
Kenshin.
fan?
I was a level
He
3.
a level 3 anime fan. He level 3.
I was definitely on my shonen jump. Like, most definitely.
Yeah, I could not do it, dog. I struggle with regular comic books, just knowing which panel to go to.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Now I gotta go up and down. I was like, nah, I'm not gonna.
Too much at that point.
Yeah, I couldn't. I could not get the right to left. I was like, y'all are different.
Yeah,
I was like, so y'all starting at the back of the book and ending at the front? Y'all are crazy.
Yep,
this is literally backwards.
I remember the first time holding one, I'm just like, what is this? But like that curiosity was kind of like just opening the Necronomicon. I'm just like, oh my God. Like, I'm like, this is such a new way to read.
This is
like,
crazy.
It's so weird.
The closest I'll get to it is I will allow a YouTuber to break it down for me, what's going on, and then I'll let him explain it to me. But me actually reading it, it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
Like I did that with this anime I love, Hunter x Hunter, because I didn't like the way it ended. And I was really interested in it. It ended on it almost ended just to kick me in the balls, just because I was just like, wow, like this is a whole new world. Like, wow, all of and you're just gonna end right here?
Yeah.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
Nah,
who was in control of this? So
come on, y'all got this.
I don't know how, and I heard there's a new season might come out of Hunter x Hunter. Supposed to. And I'm gonna be there for it. Much as I don't watch TV, I'm gonna be there for that. I'm gonna be there for that.
And there's so much I need to catch up on too. Just as like I can't. It's so tough for me to call myself an anime nigga. Like I feel like throughout my development, I've been an anime nigga. Like for the most part, like I am Yu Yu Hakusho, Rurouni Kenshin, Fooly Cooly.
That's back. That's back in the day. I love this.
Super Milk Chan. Like
shout out Inuyasha.
Yeah, shout out to Inuyasha. Like
yeah, I was watching anime. See, that's why I gotta thank Cartoon Network, because to be honest with you, can
we get some applause?
Yeah. Shout out Cartoon, especially since they failed, whether they died or whatever.
Yeah,
I think
shout out to Toonami.
Yeah, Adult Swim, all of that. You know what I'm saying? Because I was watching anime when I didn't realize it was anime. Like before, because I was watching Yu Yu Hakusho, like just a dope ass show. I wasn't thinking I'm watching anime. I wasn't thinking that. When I was watching Inuyasha, I wasn't thinking that.
You're watching great stories.
I'm just watching a great show, and then it was later on. Oh, that was an anime. Oh, that was an anime.
Yep.
You know what I mean? I was I only really registered my anime love like late in high school, maybe a little bit after that. I was like, oh, these are animes that I love.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I was like, oh, American. And my mother doesn't they're just cartoons. Like, don't you call an anime a cartoon? Just call it anything cartoons. It's not the same.
Because and that's another argument that I feel like this might be another hot take. The Boondocks is anime.
You think so?
It's anime.
Really?
It's anime. I feel like the only reason why people say the Boondocks isn't anime is because it's black.
Wow.
People say it's a cartoon.
One is American made, which always puts an asterisk on it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
But the art style
is
made by, if I'm not mistaken, I'm not.
I heard it was based on a comic or something.
Yeah, like very much designed. Shout out to Carl Jones and shout out to
geniuses,
Martian Blueberry
and
everybody.
King.
Yeah, oh my God, what? Come on, like
beautiful.
Aaron Magruder. Shout out to everybody.
Yeah,
but like, I feel like it's very much an anime. Like, why would it not be? Like
the fight scenes.
Yeah, the fight scenes are very much.
The Boondocks
anime.
is top tier. I will own the Boondocks on DVD before it's all said and done. I got to before they outlaw it. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm telling you that is top tier premium.
The writing,
everything about. And I also love the fact that it really depicted almost the two schools of black culture in a way, because like I know so many people that are, I ain't gonna lie, I was always a more of a Team Huey type of guy. I wasn't necessarily into the streets and things like that.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? And some guys are totally Team Riley.
Yeah.
You know, there was all about that. Thug Thuggalicious. There was all about that. You know what I mean? And I was always a little more third level thinking deep. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Sort of, you know what I mean? So I was always on more on the Huey side of things.
Yeah, Huey. Who was it? Like.
Maybe not as Huey as Huey.
Yeah, as Huey as Huey, but there's still this little piece of me that like I get it though.
Yeah,
you know, like
for real.
Shout out to the Boondocks.
Yeah, the Boondocks is an amazing show. You know, what I mean, I always say that, I never really put the Boondocks in that category, which is funny till you mentioned it, because I was always saying like if I had to pick two shows that were made in America that came the closest to anime that any show has, I always go with Avatar: The Last Airbender and Samurai Jack.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Those are the two shows I always go like, these are the closest to anime I feel like American cartoons have ever come to.
Yeah, I would I would argue that in the likes of American anime, because
now it's American anime,
American
which
anime.
I've never heard of before. That's the new phrase, new term. American anime.
Right here live on the CharlieGtv show. Come on now, like stop. Like American anime. The Boondocks is the archetype. Yeah. The paving of the way of American anime.
And we love them so. We love anime so much, Americans, especially young ones. And you know,
shout out to Japan.
The other thing is that, like, with all the things going on, I might get canceled for this. It's okay.
Hey.
I'm just gonna say movies went a certain way, TV shows went a certain way, but for the most part, anime never went woke.
Nope.
And I appreciate that. Anime never went woke, and they always kept it real, dog. They kept it so real.
They kept it more than real.
They knew their core audience, and they standing on business.
For real.
They didn't do what Bud Light did. You know what I mean? Knowing that all your audience is men drinking this beer and you acting crazy right now. So I'm just saying, anime understood their audience and always kept it 100. You know what I mean?
No, the cancellation aside, know your audience.
Know your audience. Know your audience.
You
know what I'm saying? That's all I'm saying. I appreciate anime for never losing touch with their audience, never getting swayed by the winds, just making good. Like, just, man. I love anime. I'm going to get off in the 10. I love anime.
Applause for anime.
Shout out to anime.
I just love the buttons.
Applause for anime, man. Yeah, because it's great storylines, man. You just got to connect to them. It's harder for older generations, I feel like. They didn't have as many examples of sophisticated cartoons or animations we have today. Like, they're still thinking of Tom and Jerry. You know what I'm saying? So
shout out to Tom and Jerry.
Yeah, I seen that on Instagram the other day. They did like a whole compilation of like Tom and Jerry 1950, 1960, 1970, 2005, and I had commented, and I felt that, and it's got a lot of likes to that comment. I was like, I said, is Tom still chasing Jerry? Because that makes me happy. I don't know why. You know what I mean?
like some things need to just if it ain't broke.
Yeah, you know, Tom's still chasing Jerry. You know what I mean? I wanted to make a video on it. Like, I ain't do it yet, but I want to be like, I pray one day to be as consistent as Tom. I want to chase the cheese. He nigga wake up every day for years on your ass.
Yes, he is on. Like, it is on go as
no
soon
matter
as
how
I
many,
see
you know how many times he the lump on the
and bang,
no matter how many L's he took, no matter how many times that dog tried to fuck him up, no matter what he went through, Tom still woke up and was on your ass every day, regardless of what happened.
He died, came back,
for real.
Went on the escalator to heaven and came back to get that nigga again.
That's what I'm saying. You know what I mean? So that amount of consistency and drive and passion, I can only hope to get a little bit of what Tom had, because he was about that life for real. You know what I mean?
Shout out to Tom.
How has Detroit changed in your eyes over the years? And do you think it's any safer now than it used to be? Or not as safe?
Man, that is a great question. Okay, we're about to encroach onto a very something I think we were talking about a little off pod a little bit, but so how has Detroit changed? It has changed massively. I think that like the feeling that seeing Detroit change in the way that it's been changing has had a very bittersweet sort of taste to it. I remember a point in time when it was like, it'll be 11, 12 o'clock at night, and you could just course and walk around downtown Detroit and would nobody be down there. Wow. And it'd be chill. Like you can, like I've had numerous of occasions with my ex-girlfriend where I'll just be like, it'll just be us just walking around downtown kicking it, you know? As of now, there's two parts to it. I want to talk about downtown Detroit. Yeah. Detroit. Yeah. And then Detroit. Right? Because there's two different Detroits. At this moment, it's two different Detroits. Uh-huh. So for downtown's sake, it is very much like this new influx of visitors and different people who have like, want to be a part of this renaissance that is starting to come into Detroit. I'm very much grateful for the fact that Detroit is on this upswing.
Yeah.
However, I think there is still a bit of a sour taste that I kind of have for the fact that a lot of the native people here aren't too a part of it.
Yeah.
You know, I see people actively doing work and actively being seen within their works. Like, and I'm in the art space, so like we're in like that creator space. So it's very much like, you know, I see the works that Phil Simpson and Sheafy McFly and so many different like artists that are like outwardly showcasing their work to the world.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I'm very much cognizant of how big Dan Gilbert is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And how massive the Illich family is.
Yeah.
And how much work they're kind of etching into the city of Detroit. Now, to be fair, I believe that there could be some sort of world of like handshake when it comes down to the native Detroiters that are here, and for the influx of people that are coming from all over the place, transplants that don't look like us into the city of Detroit. I think there's just a level of rules and decorum that kind of comes with being here.
Yeah.
You know, like for example, like, and not even to get into politics right now, but Trump going like, yeah, this, you know what Michigan going to turn, you know what America's going to turn into?
Turn into Detroit. Yeah, like, talking shit about Detroit.
And then,
like that
and then to circle back and to get Trick to say like, oh, you know, oh, this is, you know, look, I'm in Detroit and like I got Trick to back me up. Do you think we slow?
Yeah,
like,
dog, come on.
It's like, hey, Trump, we're not slow. No, seriously, like, because that right there is, I think we're actively seeing not only this beautiful resurgence of like a lot of businesses and money flowing through to the city, but don't get it twisted. There is a very much a strong Black presence that is happening in the city that is actively growing, like Zeke of, you know, New Era Detroit, and like just being able to just be online and seeing the work that he does, and so many other creatives and people that are actively trying to make the city a better place for us. Yeah. You know, I think that's the thing that's really been the most different thing. Mm-hmm. Thank God we're still one of the most blackest cities in America. We are. I think we're number 2 to Memphis right now. Yeah, you're right. And we were number 1, but you know, Detroit is
a lot of people left.
Yeah, it's snowing outside.
Yeah.
So it's snowing outside. But at the same time, I have hope. I can't picture, I want to grow here. I want to make money here. I want to make millions here. Yeah. I want the people around me that look like me to make millions here. Yep. I want to see the city of Detroit I feel like people consider the city of Detroit as like a flyby city. Yeah. You know, if you're not in New York, if you're not in LA.
As a New Yorker, I can tell you, I know how a lot of people felt about Detroit.
Shout out to New York, you know. Yeah, shout out to New York, because I was just in Brooklyn for CultureCon. Shout out to Imani Ellis and everybody at CultureCon. But Detroit is very much, we here. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, we very much here. And it feels good to even say that I'm a part of it, regardless of whatever negative stereotypes is being pushed onto us. And it just is just because, like, it just feels like it's easy for people to kind of shit on Detroit because we here. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Because there's been a lot of, I remember because my mother bought the house in 2014. Yeah. I really moved here 2016. Even though I spent like a year here, but I moved back. Yeah. But since 2016, I've been here. I ain't leave yet. You know what I mean? But I remember when I was going to Detroit and I was talking to my homies in Queens and in Brooklyn and stuff. Yeah. And there was like, are you okay? Like, is everything all right? You going to Detroit? Yeah. Does that house come with a gun? He's like, you know what I mean? Like, are you sure you're going to be all right? How you going to drink water out there? Like, the narrative in 2015, 2016 was terrible on Detroit. Yeah. You know what I mean? They basically was acting like I was moving to, like, Iraq or something. They was like, dog, like, what are you doing out there? What's gonna happen out there? You know what I mean? So the narrative on Detroit was not good. You know what I mean? as I consider myself an underdog, even though I was mad when I first moved out here, you know what I mean? But the moment I thought of starting a business, that's when I started to love Detroit because I seen so much opportunity.
Yeah.
Now, there's still opportunity as a worker because also I don't have a college degree.
Right.
But because I work in manufacturing, you know what I mean? That ability to make decent money in the manufacturing and the factories in Detroit, even without a college degree,
it's flowing.
Is great because I know if I was in New York with this same non-college degree, I'd be struggling. Everyone I know in New York that doesn't have a college degree is struggling. I know people that work at Apple as a Genius Bar guy making $28, $29 an hour, still got a second job, still struggling. If you was making $28, $29 in Detroit, you'd be Gucci.
Yeah.
But in New York, you making $28, $29, you still need a second job.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
the rent is crazy.
It's crazy.
I have a friend who was just like, man, I caught a deal on a place in Brooklyn. I'm like, how much do you pay rent? She told me $2,800 a month.
That's crazy.
That is insanity.
My brother got a better spot right now, but at one point he was in Brooklyn as well.
Yeah.
And it was a 3-bedroom apartment. Then he was paying for one room in the 3-bedroom apartment.
Yeah.
And he was paying like $875 a month for a room in a 3-bedroom. For a room,
the room
in
is
a
crazy.
3-bedroom apartment.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? $875 for the room.
Nah, yeah. See, that's crazy. And so you totally get it from the perspective of seeing New York be New York.
Yeah.
And then now New York is New York.
Yeah.
You know, in this way.
And it's different, but it's not the people. I always say the people that move in ain't like the people that moved out. You know? Because one example, we talk about the culture and things, Detroit trying to say the same. The best example I could give it at is always, now we stopped them. Thank God there was enough of Brooklyn there to stop them.
Yeah.
But I grew up in Fort Greene. It's pretty much the same neighborhood that Biggie Smalls grew up in.
Yeah.
And Biggie Smalls has this big mural in Brooklyn where it's like almost like the whole pen. Like, it's a pretty big mural, and it says "Show Love is the Brooklyn way." You know what I mean? And it's been there for like over a decade. It's been there for a long time.
Yeah,
and it's like a part of Brooklyn, and it's in Biggie's neighborhood. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So nobody from Brooklyn, no one has a problem with it, but people came in and somebody new bought the building, and they was thinking about like I don't know taking down the mural for whatever reason. You know what I'm saying?
I mean?
And Brooklyn had to come and be like, nah, you take down the mural, there won't be no building. I'll tell you right.
Okay.
It was like,
okay,
there won't be no building.
And did.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So he
real.
was like, after how the public came out, he was like, all right, I leave. I don't know what race he was. I'm just saying, I leave.
we just make him
I leave Big Smalls alone. I'm sorry.
As you should.
Yeah,
because we
like,
don't play about ours.
Yeah, like stop it. Stop trying to come to Biggie neighborhood and take down his mural in his neighborhood. Stop it. Stop it.
Cut it out. Because here's the thing. Especially with hip hop, like we ain't even really gotten to the hip hop portion of all of this, but like we built what y'all are trying to take.
Exactly.
You know, like, and I think the common thread and the reason why a person like you moving to Detroit and someone that doesn't look like us moving to Detroit is different because you understand the decorum as to how the city moves and how it's been moving.
Yeah.
You know, I know for a fact I can't just walk into New York and just be like, I run New York. I'm about to just do a bunch of shit and then act like New York isn't New York and I can't participate with New York and not give back to New York. I feel like a lot of people that are in the city of Detroit, a lot of businesses can be very like carnivorous into their understanding of culture. And to their fairness, I know that a lot of folks that don't look like us don't have the opportunity to learn or understand what we do. Yeah. But it would behoove them to want to understand blackness, understand hip hop, understand Detroit, and understand like the world you're walking into, even on a business sense. Exactly. You know what I mean? Like I think it's imperative. Like if you want to really thrive in one of the blackest cities in America, you got to know your audience. Exactly. You got to know your audience.
You got to know your audience, and almost every line of business you're going into. Otherwise, you're gonna have a lot of bumps in the road. Let's just say that.
And
you know what I mean?
we don't play about ours.
Not at all. You know what I mean? That's why that's why it's one of the major reasons why I run my podcast the way I do. Just because I'm aiming for hoping for one day for this to be seen as like a platform for Detroit.
Oh, it will be.
I mean, a platform for this is why
it is.
I have. Thank you. I have people. I've had cannabis lawyers. I've had different musicians. I've had models. I've had some an actor or two, just people that are from Detroit, like a business owner, you know what I mean? Or just a guy that's a really good Lions fan, you know what I mean? Just an opportunity for people to see and hear Detroiters.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because, it's like he was watching he was talking about it. He was like, whatever region you're in, like if you're in Atlanta or if you're in New York or California's little, before you trying to be the best podcast in the country.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Are you the best podcast in your city?
Yeah.
Does your city, because before the rest of them, the whole world puts you on, whatever city you're in has to put you on first.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I feel like the best way to win Detroit is by putting Detroit on. You know what I'm saying? By providing the value, providing the opportunity.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And putting Detroiters on, respecting the city, respecting their natives.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I've learned a lot about the city through doing that. Why I just fly right next to my eyeballs?
This motherfucker.
This must be I'm telling you.
Gots to go.
All of my life.
Like I've literally been just sitting here just staring at it. I'm about to be on some Mr. Miyagi.
I don't know.
Yeah, I'm about to be on some Mr. Miyagi shit.
I'm sorry. I had to do something. I just had to let them know it's not a
not a game.
Environment.
It's not. Back into what we saying. It's not a game. If you come in just acting like you about to just run the space, we on you.
Yeah, for real. You know what I mean? So you got to show the Detroit natives some respect for sure.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? One thing I had to learn in Detroit, this is my next question right here. This is something I never dealt with my entire life. I've been to parties in Jamaica. I've been to parties in New Jersey, parties in Brooklyn, parties in Manhattan. You know what I mean? Of course, prom. Lots of parties I've been to.
Yeah.
Until I got to Detroit. And there's this thing that has happened at every club I've ever went to. Every party I've ever been at, a baby shower, everything I've ever been at in Detroit. But the first time I saw it, I was like, did y'all part of the Temptation? Did y'all get together and practice this hustling thing, bro? This thing that they all get to stepping together. Like you ain't never seen it. You don't know what I'm talking about, New York. I'm telling you, the way they call it hustling.
Yeah.
Yo, I'm telling you, it is a serious thing in the culture out here.
We out here.
So I just wanted to ask you, do you know how to hustle?
Yes, I do, and I'm very grateful to be able to say that I do. Now, don't get me wrong. There's some hustles that's like extra
heard
steps.
It to me, a hustle is a little bit.
Yeah, it's got some steps. Like they got like some spins and all types of stuff.
Like, but when you see him doing it, though, when you see him hitting it,
in it, and I'm telling you, like, give me a couple years or whatever to really perfect it. I'm gonna know that too. But like, it's us. Yeah, it's us.
That when I saw that shit, I was like, man, that's and I've had like 2 girls spend about 15, 20 minutes each trying to teach me.
Yeah.
And I tried to learn, but it's like, and then they told me there's hustling classes. I'm like, man, now they hustling me.
Yeah. I'm also being hustled while hustling.
Trying to hustle, exactly. So I was just like, but I can't deny, man. I feel like, it's almost a necessity. Like I ain't have a driver's license until I moved out here. And I was like, all right, I need to get a driver's license. You know what I mean? And hustling is something different, but I know it's something I gotta learn at one point because it's so necessary.
It's imperative.
It's so necessary.
Funny enough, when I was in New York, I was actually in New York for CultureCon from the 4th.
How was that trip, by the way?
Oh my God, first off, New York showed up. Like New York showed up and showed out, and all walks of life of the diaspora were outside, and it was so beautiful. Everybody is dressed to the nines. Yeah, just seeing CultureCon, and for those who are watching this and don't know what CultureCon is, it's pretty much a big conference for Black and brown and people of color creatives to that are in professional industries. So like HBO Max was there, it's sponsoring the whole thing. You got Kickstarter was there, Amazon Prime, Verizon, Chase Bank was there. So many event. Yeah, it was a real big event. And we showed up and showed out. But the reason why I brought that up is because Tim's was there before she had a performance. And first off, Tim's is the most beautiful woman I've ever seen in my life. I
gotta look her up. Tim's, you say?
Yes.
All right.
Shout out to Tim's. Shout out to Lagos. Shout out to the motherland. Shout out to Nigeria.
Oh yeah, they make some beautiful women out there.
Tim's is the most beautiful woman I've ever seen in my life. I hope that you see this one day and just want to have a conversation with me. That's all I could want. But before she performed, her DJ, or there was a DJ that was like spinning and playing records. I don't know what happened, but I felt it in my Detroit spirit to kind of like turn around, and there was a whole hustle happening.
Oh my!
I'm like,
God.
this is a whole hustle happening right here, and I'm like, I gotta get in it.
Yeah,
I'm in here, and I'm just spinning like I'm doing the thing.
Shit,
like,
hell yeah.
I'm just like, which one of y'all from Detroit did this? Like, but all in all, it felt so good to just sit here and just see the, us, just seeing us celebrate life and how we do this. Like, and I feel like there's always going to be a Detroit hustle sort of variant or some sort of dance variant in all of these inner cities.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's
like, y'all
different.
got like getting sturdy and stuff like
that. Oh,
that.
yeah, we be getting sturdy.
Yeah, you
we
feel
getting
me?
sturdy. You know what I mean? With the, you know what I'm saying? I remember when Getting Light was the thing. I never made it out to Detroit, but I remember Getting Light. You know what I mean? I be trying to explain to them what a handball court is. They never seen it. Like, handball, handball. Like, no.
I'm like,
I have not seen
this
a
is
single handball court since I've been in Detroit.
You're speaking New York right now.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and I'm understanding.
But
like, I hear the dialect.
Yeah. But when I got to Detroit and I seen them start hustling, I was like, oh, I ain't black enough. That's what I was seeing. I was like, I always thought I wasn't, but now I'm sure.
Like,
I'm not.
hey,
now
listen,
I'm sure.
hey, it's in us. It's in us all. We just got.
I got to tap in.
I just need to be around the Detroiters to just hold our hands, and we gonna get it done.
Yeah, because I ain't about to be in there bumping into people. Like, I'm in one time because I like to dance, but when they get to hustling, I got to sit my black ass down over there. I sit my black ass down and just watch and just in anger.
At least you ain't one of the folks that's just like. On the phone, just on the wall, just doing your own thing. You know what I mean? Like, hey, we show up, we show out.
The only thing, my only complaint about Detroit parties and clubs, my only complaint is that I feel like there's a higher percentage of men. Like, I never felt this way at parties until I started partying in Detroit.
Yeah.
There's a good 20%, if not more, of men that's just sitting there with this not happy face.
Yeah.
And like just looking like they came here to not have fun. I don't know. Like, it's just like, and it makes me almost feel weird about dancing sometimes. I'm like, I don't want to disrespect. I don't want them to think that like because like, I want to have fun. Yeah. You know what I mean? And the way y'all act, they're making me feel like I need to be on my P's and Q's.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And not have too much fun. You know what I'm saying?
And to be fair to you, though, there's a lot. I think it's just mainly the venues that people are like doing them at. If like you at Club Blue, it's gonna be like that. Yeah. Like very much it's more so people just kind of post it up.
Just post it up.
Yeah, just scoping out the place. You're at Club Annex or something like that. You're just looking at people and just wanting to see what that's looking like. But hey, there's some spots. There's some spots where people is moving.
Like, just having fun.
Like Motor City Wine on Michigan Avenue. They have like a little thing that they do every once in a while. I remember just walking in there on some humbug shit. It was just like, hey, what's going on? I bought a water. And then like people were jigging.
Yeah. Oh, like, wow. Jigging is a whole different level.
Making it happen.
I ain't about to. I ain't got the energy for that. I'm gonna break an ankle, dog. I'm telling you right now. That reminded me when they was doing this shit, and I was like, y'all just trying to make sure I feel old, huh? Y'all trying to make sure I feel old. So first time I did that, I was limping for a week.
Yeah, we gotta protect the ankles. Shout out to the 30s, man. You gotta.
My leg was like, what the fuck are you doing?
hey, slow it down, brother.
Wait.
Hey, brother, slow it down. But yeah, there's some spots out here, and honestly, like, I think the main thing is just expressing yourself. We can find we will find ways to. There is spots here that where folks be really moving and grooving, like Spotlight. I know Paramita be having a lot of stuff sometimes, and it's some spots. This is
some great spots. I'm just saying, there's a little bit of mean mugging going on at these parties that
like
more than I had to deal with.
Yeah, you just gotta be in the right spots.
Yeah, in New York, I feel like there was like 3 of those guys in the club. 3 guys like, all right, they're on something else, but the rest of us pay so much rent that we get this couple hours to party. I think New Yorkers party different. They're like, I got a party like this
that makes sense.
Like, this is the reason why I'm here. All right, there's a reason why I work 7 days a week. I do all of that. If I'm partying right now with how high rent is, I'm enjoying every bit of this party.
I'm like, I gotta do it all.
I needed this relief. I mean, there's got to be a reason why I'm here.
Like,
you know what I'm saying? Like, New York is like, listen, the rent is too goddamn high.
Yeah.
I got to enjoy myself.
I'm here to show up and show out.
I left my Harry Potter Hubble hole that I live in. You know what I'm saying? To come out here. You know
Under the steps.
Yeah, I'm telling you, for real, dog. I remember that one of the last times I was in New York, I remember seeing this advertisement. And this is after a year living in Detroit, and I moved back to New York for a year. And I'll never forget it because this shows how cocky New York is, and the fact that this is an advertisement on the subway.
Yeah.
And I think this was an advertisement from New York City itself. And it said, sure, your window faces a brick wall.
Yeah.
But behind that brick wall is New York City. And I was like,
what a bold advertisement.
I was like,
as a copywriter,
that is bold
that was very
as
bold.
hell.
Shout out to whoever did that.
I'm like,
whoever did that copy.
Says, sure, your window faces a brick wall, but behind that brick wall is New York City. I'm like, what the fuck?
Like, you know what? Like that's facts, but like, why do I feel disrespected at the same time?
For real. Like, I'm like, this is crazy. This is crazy. The cockiness, the audacity.
Yeah.
It's just like at an all-time high. It's just crazy. You know what I mean? But the one thing I've heard about New York lately, because first of all, in COVID and a lot of things, New York has lost millions of people and billions of dollars, even millionaires have left because of the laws and stuff like that. And they always said New York is not like LA. So apparently LA been had this problem where like you would go to LA and you would ask someone, hey, where you from? And no one in LA is from LA. Yeah. You know what I mean? They're all from somewhere else.
Like, oh yeah, I'm from Utah.
Yeah, from somewhere else. Yeah. But in New York, you actually bump in the spot, where you from? I'm from Brooklyn. I'm from Queens. I'm from the Bronx. There was a lot more New Yorkers still in New York.
Yeah.
But now it's becoming a lot like LA in that way. Yeah. Where you ask someone where they from, they not from New York. You know what I'm saying? They're from somewhere else and came to New York. You know what I mean? So New York is losing a lot of New Yorkers. Wow. You know what I mean? Like I might have beat the wave, but the wave came right after me and a lot of people left. Wow. Because that rent and all of that, it's really crazy. It's crazy. Everything happened. It's crazy. You know what I'm saying? The New Yorkers that are still there, that had to deal with the immigrants getting mad bread and they've been there struggling the whole time. It's like, that's crazy.
And honestly, and this is my only little dissertation, because I know you want to continue to move through it, but at the same time, I'd argue that the black folks that are native to New York that want a good spot to be at come to Detroit.
Yeah.
And the reason why I'm going to say come to Detroit is because I've read this book called The Devil You Know by Charles Blow. And it's mainly talking about how important it is for, majority black cities to be able to control their local government. And I think that if we had more residents that looked like us that couldn't afford to live in New York, you can come to Detroit. Yeah, come to Detroit, and we gonna make it shake
for sure. Detroit is the reason why I have so much hope, and I'm pretty damn sure I'm gonna be a homeowner in like 2 years, a couple of years. If I was in New York, I wouldn't even be thinking about buying a house. You kidding me? I'm not gonna buy a house. It's not gonna happen. Not gonna
be in Albany.
Just not. Yes, it's not gonna happen, dog. You know what I'm saying? Where here, I'm like, all right, 2 years, 3. Give me. I'm gonna get a house. Yeah. I genuinely feel that way.
You can actually do it
in Detroit because I feel like it's attainable. You know what I mean? In New York, dog. I mean, that's the main reason why I moved there in the first place. My mother wanted to own a house. Yeah. You know what I mean? And, she had a couple thousand. She bought the house. She bought a house in Boston, Edison for 40 G's outright in 2014.
Perfect. Beautiful spot,
too. It's a beautiful neighborhood. You know what I mean? Even though there's still crackheads at all the gas stations.
Yeah, but that's got to come with it.
Yeah. But it's still a beautiful neighborhood in Detroit. You know what I'm saying? It's in the historical district. So you're like 6-7 minutes from downtown. Yep. You know what I mean? And she came up off it for real. Like it was a great investment. I don't know how she saw it all the way from New York. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But
shout out to the internet.
Yeah, Zillow.
Shout out to Zillow.
Yeah, you know what I mean? What it was, if she tells the story, is really like there was a Detroiter out here named Shay, and he was like on YouTube, and he was doing like tours of abandoned houses in Detroit for some reason, something like that. And my mother was crazy. My mother contacted him and started to pay him to look at houses she was looking at online. So there's
to make sure,
So there's a YouTube video somewhere online of when she asked him to look at the house, and it's the house we live in right now. He's in the video like, I'm checking out this house for Sandra. She has me over there, looking at the thing. You know what I mean? And wow. And he investigated the house and found it was a good house in good sound condition. Yeah. And my mother was like, screw it, I'm gonna go there, I'm gonna look at it, I'm gonna buy it. You know what I mean? And the rest is history, you know what I'm saying? But shout
out to buying homes.
Yeah, it's still obtainable in Detroit, unlike in New York. Like, just it's not gonna happen.
Man, shout out to Detroit.
It'll happen.
But at some point,
I love Detroit for and also I was saying earlier as a businessman, like I see so much business opportunity in Detroit. Like even now, I'm trying to push
you're in a beautiful spot right now.
Yeah, I'm trying to push my this business promotion package that I got, and I'm trying to but I know there are so many businesses in Detroit that don't even have a website, much less an Instagram.
Some people just got the vibe.
Yeah, and they've just been here a while, so they got a little customer base. But as far as their business model being on 2024, it's not. It's not. You know what I mean?
And it takes people like us to kind of like
hey, let me bring you up to speed a little bit.
Yeah,
you know, open up your brand's visibility. You know what I mean? There's a lot of brands that I can't even pitch to unless I go to them directly, like on foot. You know what I mean? Because
they be really headstrong. I remember meeting somebody that was just like, I do event planning and I do baby showers and birthday parties and weddings and this, that, and third. I'm like, that's awesome. Do you have an Instagram where I can follow it? No, I don't do social media. Like, what?
Like as a business person, not doing social, they don't go together.
They don't even
there
go
is
together.
No being a business person.
The internet
not doing
is
social media.
Everything.
Yeah, it's, and I feel like there's a lot of businesses in Detroit that still don't understand that.
Yeah,
which is great for me as an opportunity to help bring them up to speed and broaden their horizons. You know what I'm saying? And just bring them more money, honestly, because it will not do nothing but increase the brands. But I'm just saying, as a business person, there's a lot of space for opportunity.
Yeah.
Whereas in New York, you're not going to pretty much find a business without social media on the thing because
they already know the game.
I always say it's because of competition.
Yeah.
The rent is too high.
Yeah.
You know, even for businesses. So they have to innovate. They have to do everything they can. Otherwise, because there's 10, for every restaurant you see in New York, there's a good 5-10 businesses that want that spot.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So if y'all not doing it, because you think the rent going up on the residents, the rent's going up on the businesses too.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So unless it's a standalone building where they own that building, which is not that many in New York, you know what I'm saying? They either own that store and there's an apartment building above them, and they're a part of everything. So whoever that landlord is raising the rent on all those tenants, including the business on the ground level.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that business is like, hey, we got to make more money. You got to figure out a way to get more customers. You got to figure out a way to be more efficient. You know what I mean? Because that pressure is on them constantly.
And of course, it's not too often these business owners look like us too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that too. So, come on. But yeah, there's a lot of opportunities in Detroit. So I'm happy. I'm happy. I'm here for real. You know what I'm saying?
Shout out to Detroit. Can we get an applause for Detroit?
Yeah. Shout out to Detroit, man. It's a great city.
Shout out to Detroit.
Great city.
I love that.
Yeah. Great city. Yeah, guys, really going in. But what you call it? So who did you look up to now and maybe as a kid? Like, who was your role models growing up, you feel like?
Okay, so, all right. Role model, are we saying role model just as a person? Or
it could be family or it could be a celebrity.
Or more, well, I'm more so saying my role model for me as a person or my role model for me as an artist? Or just overall?
Either one. Either one.
Okay, so that's a great question. I would say, I learned a lot from my dad, like I said before. Like, if it wasn't for my dad to be able to, do hard things without, without even complaining. I learned, I wanted to be able to kind of, imitate that in some way, shape, and form. My dad was very much, a very pivotal part in that. I think my... very controversial person at this day and age, and I did make a video where I said something that I really did mean, but I'm sure that people will probably get some sort of different sort of connotation about it. But Mr. Kanye West,
Kanye,
it's very much like I grew up with Ye.
I love Kanye.
Yeah, so back in the day. I used to watch this show with my uncle, rest in peace, Uncle Reggie, with my uncle called Def Poetry Jam.
Okay, I have watched that a couple times.
Yeah, Def Poetry Jam, it was masterful, okay? I used to love the feeling of just seeing these broad and big voices and people saying these amazing pieces. I just remember seeing Kanye come on to Def Poetry Jam. In my head, he's a poet.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, at first, that's kind of like what I understood until I did my own research and being like, oh, he made music.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. And just seeing him kind of pave the way of hip hop and just break so many barriers and is like, he is literally a blueprint of to who to be in this music thing. But then at the same time, there's still a bit of personality that I got from him too, that I like this sort of like, I'm gonna do me type of energy that like you can only get from being a Kanye fan.
Yeah, Kanye, yeah.
And it's just, I love it. And I know that we're talking about my own inspirations, but it's like I was just been so kind of like disappointed in just the music. I'm just done with the horny raps. I said this on TikTok.
Well, from Kanye?
Yeah, just the horniness. The horniness is too much,
That's how it
bro.
be sometimes, man.
Yeah, and I get it. Like, you gotta express yourself, but geez, like, cause he's about to drop this new album, Bully, and I'm at odds about it. I just hope that I heard that he's fully producing it. It's 100% his production, and he has no features on it. And I'm like, oh yeah,
I love that.
This
and
might.
It's not a gospel album,
And it's not a gospel.
No, okay, because he had a couple good songs on that gospel one too.
Did.
You know what I'm saying? But because
Jesus is King.
He's always gonna be good music, regardless. You know what I'm saying? Like Christ, like there's a couple songs in there. It's good. You know, I like them. You know
It's really good. But then I just don't want any more horny raps. Yeah. Like, just please, for the love of God. So he was a pretty big inspiration for me just as an artist. And
the horny raps.
The horny raps is crazy.
Like, you ain't lying, though.
It's like, it's too much. Honestly, and it's not just to be fair to like, I don't want like wanting to get it twisted. Like, I'm very much in the department of I'm very much in the department of like wanting to like I get like it's horny raps across the board, like from all artists. Like like. There's so many other things to talk about. There's so many other things to talk about. But hey, you gotta get it off. But other than that, I think like it's very much been a hodgepodge of just like meeting a lot of different people and trying to understand who I am. Like I'm very much like I get inspired by just the people that I'm around currently. You know what I mean? Like my right hand man's Jason Gaines. His name's Lone Visionary. Shout out to Lone Visionary. Can we get a round of applause for Lone Visionary?
Yeah. Jason.
Shout out to Jason, man.
Shout out Jason.
He is a strong inspiration for me, and this is like my guy. I'm sure you've seen me walking around with him every once in a while.
I might have.
Yeah, at least once in a while. But like we've been working together for a long time, and like just seeing his drive and tenacity and all of the things that he has been through into his journey into filmmaking has been the thing that is like, just is like, I gotta, if not match, do a little bit more on top of that.
Yeah.
Same thing with my homeboy Santana Da Vinci. Man, a round of applause for Santana. Shout out to my boy Santana Da Vinci, dog. Like he has been just growing as a man, and just seeing him just like, I always say like we twins, because like that's twin, like because we got the same life. Like we grew up. He went to Mumford. I went to Henry Ford Academy. Like, remember I told you I was this close to going, and all of the like we damn near had the same life experiences. But how he inspires me has been very much like just seeing like a person go from taking all of the things that has been handed to him in his life and still managing to make time and effort and energy into the things that matter to them most. And he's on Twitch right now, streaming on Twitch. Shout out to Sleep God. Man, he like just seeing him grow on Twitch. And shout out to Fam. Man, make some noise for Fam. Yeah. Shout out to the Fam community. Like they go hard. They go hard, and like I love them. Shout out to Lily Harm and Queen and all of the folks over there. Like they really be making it happen. And just so seeing him do that and kind of grow in this social media Twitch space and just in music also has been very just refreshing and just to keep me going. And my homeboy Anthony Cipolla. Can I get some noise for Sippy real quick?
Anthony Cipolla.
Shout out to Sippy, man. Like My dude Sippy, like he's my audio engineer.
Awesome.
So he's been we've been working together for like the longest time when it comes down to music. And so we have 2 different lives, you know what I mean? Because he's Italian. And so like me and him have been very much like learning a lot about each other and our dynamics. This is just on a black and white tip at the same time. But just seeing him grow as a man, he just had 2 babies. Shout out to the life. Shout out to life. 2 babies.
Yeah, having I wish
twin
I had
babies.
Twin babies.
Beautiful twin babies.
Oh,
a beautiful wife. Shout out to Amelia. And just seeing
Thought
him,
you was getting one.
you know, hey, he did. You know what I mean? And like just seeing that, like seeing him grow as a man, and just seeing him like stand on his shit and still doing this music shit, still, you know, doing the real estate and all the things that he be doing. It's like super like, man, I'm buttoning up.
Yeah.
I got to make sure I'm on my game. So yeah, those are my for real inspirations.
That's
like
great. It's great to have people
as
next
of right
to you
now,
that inspire you. That's really
for real, because like
hard to find.
I think the craziest thing about that is, especially in our community, it's really tough for us to kind of like find people. It's tough for somebody to just be like, bro, you doing that shit.
Yeah.
Keep going.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And because we know how it is so important for our development to kind of like be around people to, you know, at least either smack our hand or keep us going.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's really tough without it. And those 3 brothers has always been like really on game, on go, and making sure that I'm straight, and I'm always trying to make sure that they straight. So,
I respect the hell out of that. You know, I really do, because it's hard to find. You know what I mean? Like it's really hard to find when you the times when your motivation isn't where it should be. Yeah. You know what I mean? Is not too many people that I could point to that's directly around me. That's like pushing at a level. Mm-hmm. That's why I shout out my homie Escalo Smith. You know what I mean? I give him a round of applause. You know what I mean? Because he go hard on TikTok, and he doing it. He do his thing. You know what I mean? He's a young comedian out here. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and,
that's awesome.
He been posting more and more, funny things lately. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, dog, you one of the only people in my life that make me feel lazy.
Come on,
you know what I mean?
That's saying
when I see
something.
how much he posts,
something.
you know what I'm saying? How much he go, and I'm like, damn.
Yeah,
I gotta get back on my shit. I gotta get on my shit. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Like, and it's not many people that make me feel that way. You know what I mean? But so I know the value in that. They always say steel sharpens steel.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So it's good to have people around you that's also have their foot on the gas pedal.
Yeah, we need it. We need it ultimately.
It's good to be around. So what would you say is your earliest memory of having interest in music?
Man, okay. Yeah, this is my favorite conversation. I listen, music is life. I know that's a Tumblr post, and that is like
several T-shirts.
That's on several T-shirts, but like, especially being black and just growing up in hip-hop, Ben Staples had this little quote in an interview where he said, "When do you find out that you are in hip hop or love hip hop? Like that's like saying, when do you love your mama?"
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like I was like, it just felt, and I resonated with that so much. But what was the question again?
What was your earliest memory of having an interest in music, like wanting to produce it to a degree, or singing, or like what was your first time?
I'll give you
used to rap.
Yeah,
I listened to quite a few of your things, and I mean, I guess it's sort of rap, but not like rap, not rappity. I guess I
Yeah, and I think okay. So yeah, let's get into it.
a lot of singing I was hearing. Yeah. So I was I heard you was rapping. I was like, oh, I ain't find that track. What track was that?
That's just the stuff that got popular.
Yeah,
but, respectfully, but at the same time, music has always kind of been the centrifuge of the nucleus of my life. Like, I had this saying that I used to say, the only thing I know how to do is music. Mm-hmm. And I didn't know how much that stifled me, and that's something that kind of went in a different direction when I got older. But my earliest memories of music, I'll give you 2 sides. So one side on just a consumer side, and then another side on just an artist side. Yeah. But I remember my earliest memories is like, I don't know how big you are, since you are from New York. So like, I'm sure that the techno understanding might be a bit fuzzy. But for for you Detroiters.
I heard that started in Michigan Tech.
Oh my goodness, yes. Shout out to Juan Atkins, Derek May, Kevin Saunderson, and all of the pioneers of techno. Shout out to it's literally techno is everything. I just remember listening to this song called Timeline by Galaxy to Galaxy, and it's the ghetto tech version, so it's sped up, and it's just that. My dad used to play that all the time because he used to DJ in the 80s. Wow. And like that type of like when my dad has like a very vast amount of music that he listens to. My dad used to listen to Korn. Like in Creed and shit. Like wow. And like to the point where I'm just like, word? Like you know what I'm saying? Like you're like, oh, like, and just listening to all these different artists, and like it was kind of like that. Being immersed into that sort of space was very much like music was always sort of celebrated from my dad, my mom. Like she would listen to like Santana and like Black Magic Woman and like Prince, and she used to listen to a lot of the Fugees. Fugees. Shout out to Fugees. Shout out to the Fugees. The Fugees, like I remember my parents telling me that I knew all of Ready or Not when I was like 7. Like I could just rap Ready or Not. I can still rap Ready or Not from top to bottom. Yeah. And like hip hop in general has just always been a thing that's like just nourished me. Like especially and I know I gave shout out to my Uncle Reggie. Shout out to Curtis Roach too, by the way. Make some noise for Curtis Roach.
Curtis Roach, hell yeah.
Yeah, shout out to my cousin. Like my uncle he had an iPod. Shout out to the iPod Classic. What?
That's back when there was still people out here talking shit like Zune is the
you feel me? Yeah, like get out of here. Relax. Yeah. Let's have some decorum.
We see who won that battle.
Yeah, for real. Yeah, get out of here. So yeah, my uncle used to have this like iPod Classic with like tons of songs on it, and I just remember the first time I listened to Coldplay and just having this like diverse.
I'm a big Coldplay fan.
Oh, I love Coldplay. I love Coldplay, and I remember being like super immersed in the world of music. It's in all shapes, forms, and facets. From like my dad with techno and hip hop and all types of shit. Like I got a big portion of just music from my dad. Yeah. And then I got really specific music from my mom, and specific music from my uncle, and just the game, like just growing up, just listening to the radio and like all, WJOB, shout out to Foolish and Mr. Chase and Coco and everything. Like
that's dope.
And just thinking about like how all of that like molded me like that. I think my earliest memory is me rapping Ready or Not at like 7 or something like that. And also listening to Timeline, that techno song from my dad. And as an artist though, like I think the person who made me kind of really want to pick a pen up beyond technically Kanye, but I would say really it was Lupe Fiasco.
Wow. Shout out Lupe for the skate. Shout out Kick Push. Shout out Lupe Fiasco, one of the best storytellers doing this thing.
Yeah.
Daydream. Shout out all of his You a Superstar. Shout out all the shit Lupe Fiasco put out.
Lupe Fiasco was one of, yes, dude. Lupe Fiasco was one of those people that was like, I'm like, no, this nigga different. Yeah. Like his nigga is different. Like his pen was different. And like I just knowing how much I wanted to be a storyteller, like I think he really like made it really comfortable to kind of be whoever you want to be and where you're from. And say that it's okay, you can still be a part of this artist thing. And shout out to MF Doom.
Yeah,
like I used to listen to a lot of MF Doom in my earlier days, and I was very much like a '90s hip hop kid. So that's Native Tongues with a Tribe Called Quest, Wu-Tang Clan, New York. First off, shout out to New York.
Yeah, I'm giving New York a round.
Yeah, give New York a round of applause.
When we ran hip hop was good. All right.
Okay.
Ever since Atlanta took it over, I can't speak. But when New York ran hip hop, we did it the right way. You heard me?
For real, okay? Because there's so many. I can't even sit here and act like, Q-Tip and Phife Dawg and like all of these different New York artists have like molded and shaped me as an artist and as a poet in general. Like the Last Poets, and I think they're based out in New York too, if I'm not mistaken.
So.
Very much like there's so many different worlds
Yeah.
where music is kind of like ingrained into my earlier development. But I would just call out those people and say like those are some of my like very earlier inspiration. Oh, and Outkast. Can we make some noise?
Outkast. Oh yeah. Even though I'm mad at you 2000 giving us that flute, you know, I wanted a real album.
You know,
but it's all good. Shout out to y'all.
He's going to be at Camp Flog Gnaw this year.
Really?
Yes, Camp Flog Gnaw this year, dude. I'm honestly like them tickets is crazy bread.
Sure.
Crazy bread. Like the super VIP tickets is like $1,800. Yeah, it's crazy. But at the same time, like the regular GA is like $500, and I'm still like,
damn.
I'm like, oh hell, well,
Dre.
and yeah, for real, like Tyler, like God.
Damn.
But yeah, like shout out to Outkast, shout out to Big Boy, shout out to really Dungeon Family in general. Like I used to listen to like everything. Like so it's really tough for me to kind of like.
I could tell that with some of your things you was blending. You know what I mean? I remember I was watching some video. I didn't get to finish watching it. It was like on TikTok or something.
Yeah.
Where you was talking about how you had a song idea with like a Midwest vibe to it.
Yeah.
I was dying laughing because you was like singing it and trying to do the beat. Yeah. Was hitting the thing. It's like this.
I'm hoping that there's some bands or somebody that like are like heavy into instruments that can just listen to that and just stitch it and make it.
I get what you're trying to make.
You know what I mean? Yeah. That's all I want. But like music, you know what's something that's crazy? Like I feel like artists, we are creators, okay? We are literally just we are a vessel, and then there's the medium, which is hip hop, rap, you know, R&B, rock, so all these different genres, or photography, podcasting, filmmaking, so many different things. And that to me is kind of like we are just channeling this thing.
I totally agree with that. Like as a freestyler, because I enjoy freestyle rapping.
Shout out to the folks who can freestyle, because
like going off the top and doing stuff. It doesn't happen as much as it used to. It only, honestly, at this point, it only happens like I'm gonna say like maybe 3 to 5 times a year.
Yeah.
But before, it used to be almost every session.
Yeah.
Where like I'd be freestyling, and my brother can attest to this because some of my earliest freestyles when I was like 16, 17. This is when he told me I should rap. You know what I mean? Because he would find the beats.
Yeah.
He was very good at finding the beat, the instrumental. Yeah. And I was always freestyle over it. Yeah. There'll be some times where like I would enter almost like a trance where it would be like, and I was murdering every line. It was like a whole song came out, and I was murdering it. Yeah. But when I was done, number one, I don't remember anything I said. And number two, it was like, I don't even remember the thought process during it. It was like, that's when I said I felt like a conduit. I felt like
that's the best word.
Yeah, like that shit was just in the ether, and it came in through me to get out. You know what I mean? But I almost felt like I couldn't even take credit for it. Because I did it, and it was a freestyle, but that shit felt like it was coming from somewhere.
Yeah, it was somewhere.
Coming from somewhere.
And you are absolutely right. I think that's kind of like I think that's what makes art and creativity so like it
was a damn near spiritual experience.
Yeah, I was just about to say that. I'm like, you know how people say the word something is awesome? Yeah. Like, oh, this is awesome. But no, this is like the definitive Webster definition of awesome. Like this is something that is beyond my able physical body control. Like
exactly.
Creativity comes from here and just moves you in a direction. Yeah. And I think that like it's knowing that it feels so. I'm so blessed, and we are very blessed to be able to sit here and say that we've had that moment. Yeah, you know, and even if I never had the capability of doing it again, I'm so
that I felt
grateful
it, that you got
that
to
I
feel
got
it.
to feel that.
Because that feeling is really like a spiritual experience. How I was feeling it, you know what I mean? Because I was doing it, and then there's been times I was freestyling, and it brought me to tears while freestyling, because like. There's been times I was freestyling, and it's me rapping, and I didn't even know I felt the way I felt until I started rapping. Yeah. I was like, I just rapped something that I never vocalized or really thought about, but I do feel that way. And it just came out at that moment, and I was like,
yeah, it's like therapy.
Yeah, it is. It really is.
It's like a small form of therapy.
It
like,
really is.
Hip hop kind of is always been that for us, like in a sense where, you know, we don't like if we without hip hop, bro, hip hop, bro, like it's so necessary. Just thinking about how hip hop kind of started growing in the 70s, what that looked like in New York and everything like that. The state of the world and why hip hop even was birthed from that is so wild. And I love KRS-One. Shout out to KRS-One.
Yeah, KRS-One. Yeah, he's one of the shout out to KRS-One.
Yeah, for real. Shout out to KRS-One. Shout out to our legends.
One of my favorite speakers, for real, rappers, period. One of the best consciousness.
We need to honor and respect our lineage. I think it's super important to understand where we came from to know where we're going.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. I think that's like KRS-One had this, like, he had this speech or this keynote or something that he was talking to some kids at
his talks
college.
Are amazing.
And it feels so good to just like even say that I'm a part of that, or at least want to, I'm a child of that.
Yeah.
Of all the work that has been put into that. So I can go on and on. And I know you got more questions, but at the same time, like I could go on.
Shout out to KRS-One. You know what I mean? He said something that still sticks with me. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? He said something about like So yeah, he said something that stuck with me when he said something like, so your art, what you create comes like from your soul.
Yeah.
Right? And he said, I'm trying to remember exactly what he said. He was like, be careful who you share your art with or sell your art to. You know what I mean? Because he said something like, he said there's rules to the soul. He was like, whatever the soul touches it. You know what I mean? So when you're selling off this music, you're selling off these pieces of your art, you're selling little pieces of your soul. You know what I mean? So just make sure you're doing it for the right reasons. You know what I mean? Because otherwise it could hit the wrong people. It could have the wrong reaction, and things come back at you. And it's it's a dual way. It's a two-way street.
Absolutely. There's been so I'm in the process. Well, I've been in this process of creating this album for myself. It's called The Romance of Street People.
Wow.
And, that's and y'all can't steal it. So it's already been set out into the world. So that's how y'all know it's here. But The Last Poets, and they had this poem on Def Poetry Jam, and segueing into what you were saying, where in the poem it said, "And the romance of street people sincerely pleading to take your time with the music because it's for the people."
Yeah.
It is imperative to know, like, you're not just making music and it just is what it is. Like, music is you're actively giving a piece of you, a piece of your spirit, and handing it to someone. Mm-hmm. Like, what are you doing with that?
Exactly.
And I think that's like, if we have more people that were very much intentional with their artistic expression, that we'd get a lot from that.
I do use music as a therapeutic outlet.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I did a lot more. But I only really felt music as therapy.
Yeah.
Lately, and as my life has gotten harder, as things have gotten more difficult.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because Freestyle Friday is something that I started the same week or day. As a matter of fact, Freestyle Friday might have came out before the podcast did, like a week or two before. You know what I mean? So I've done on Instagram, and they got the receipts to prove it. Y'all can scroll. I mean, there's a lot of
scrolling,
whatever.
Start scrolling now.
Yeah, for the last, I want to say at least 165 Fridays in a row, without missing a Friday. Some people want to get mad at you. Did that one at 2 a.m. Man, that's still Friday night. Listen,
come on,
chill, dog. That's still Friday to me.
And it's always somebody who ain't never even thought of a rhyme.
Yeah, exactly. It's 1 a.m. It's Freestyle Saturday. I be wanting to punch them in my comment. Like, it's 1 a.m.
Shut up, man.
Right?
Shut up.
Yeah, for real. It's Freestyle Saturday morning now. Like, no, come on, stop it. You know what I mean? But yeah, like, I've done Freestyle Friday every Friday, and I went on live. I go on live on Instagram. I take time to select the beats. And, I freestyle off the top. Now I do a pre-recorded version where, like, I still freestyle live on Instagram.
Yeah.
But it's just that before I went live, I had 5-6 beats that I freestyled in the booth by myself. You know what I'm saying? That I'll play that for a little while, and then I'll end it with another beat with me freestyling live. You know what I'm saying? So I just changed the format up a little bit.
Yeah.
But there's been some Fridays because one of the main themes of my Fridays, Freestyle Fridays, I always say in the beginning is that, hey, y'all, we made it through another week.
We made it through another week.
And it's me thanking God for the chance to make it through another week.
Shout out to God.
And there's been some weeks where I barely made it, or I got into a car crash and my finances is fucked up and all of this shit happened, but it's Friday and I'm like,
art is there for you.
And I'm like, I can't break this streak. I know that life is fucked up right now, but you know what? This is Freestyle Friday number 160 something. At the end of the day, I'm still alive. I still got my health. And I'm happy to be here, much as it might be fucked up.
Make some noise for you.
Happy to be here.
Make some noise for you.
So there's been times where Freestyle Friday, as a routine in my life, has saved my spirit. To be like, yo, it's Friday, dog. We made it through another week. I know this week was rough. We made it through another week.
Another one.
And I remember thanking God every Friday. Listen, just let me make it to another Friday. You know what I mean? You show up for me, I'm going to show up on Friday and do my part. You
That's
know what I'm
real
saying?
shit.
So Friday helped me a lot with the Freestyle Fridays, being able to express myself. Freestyle, whatever's going on in my mind and my life, I just get to express myself for a little while. You know what I mean? So I love Freestyle Friday for that. And also, when I quit weed for that little while, I truly discovered, I know I've always sort of known this, but when you don't got no substance to rely on, like you don't got no tobacco at the time, you don't have no weed,
no maladaptive coping mechanisms.
That's when I truly discovered, it was only like 2 months ago, that music is one of the only things that can truly change my mood. You know what I mean? Like, it can if I just take a second, listen to some music, I will feel better. I'll feel it can change my mood and and how I'm feeling. You know what I mean? So I was like, anyone trying to get off a substance, consider music therapy. Consider music therapy.
Listen to some bossa nova. Get in your zone.
I'm telling you, because it really, something about it. It really, so music is very powerful. That's all I'll say.
It's literally, it's not us. It's literally it's just literally us channeling this fifth dimension sort of thing. And I can get very heady about that. But at the same time, like, it's not you. So like your ego, don't even put your ego into it. You know what I mean? Like, if you want to make music and you want to be in the space of just like actively creating, or just, or even if you just have an interest, bear yourself onto it, and it will reward you.
That's another thing. I had a question I have for you about how you do your thing, but that might be a couple questions later. I gotta do more getting through these, man.
For sure.
But this always happens. But listen, just for the record, the whole reason why I started having a docket and things like lined up for podcasts, even though my favorite guy, Joe Rogan, doesn't even have it. It seemed like, but still, like, is because I never wanted it to be like, oh, well, what's next? What's the next? So that it's sort of that anxiety. You know what I mean? I do care about getting to all of these questions, but at the same time, like, I never want to interrupt natural conversation. You know what I mean?
It's so awesome.
To you know what I mean? To stick to the thing.
And I've been having so much fun. I hope. Shout out to CharlieGtv. Can we make some noise for CharlieGtv? Come on.
Good. I'm glad. It makes me happy. It makes me happy to hear that.
This is really refreshing.
Good. I'm glad you feel that way. I've had some people say they feel like it's therapeutic to get to talk about themselves, talk about their growing up. You know what I mean? But so another question I had for you is, which is perfect, it's the next one. I love how much you express yourself in your music. You know what I'm saying? Like,
thank you.
One of the first songs I listened to from you, I'm sure you know which one, is Bottle Caps. It seems to describe a long distance relationship. Is that based on real life? Is that inspired by real life?
Tell
me about that track.
I think that's such a beautiful segue, and I'll try not to like dive too deep into it, but I would definitely give you the basis of it. Most, if not all, my music is very much rooted in some sort of thing that has happened in my life. At the time, I was in a long distance relationship with someone. So this is 2015. I'm broke as fuck, and my girlfriend at the time was going to Michigan State. Shout out to Go Green, Go White.
Shout out to them.
Shout out to Michigan State, and very much. It was Valentine's Day, and she was studying abroad in Japan. Wow. And it was like one of those types of things where I'm just like, damn, I don't got no money to send you nothing while she's in Japan during Valentine's Day. So I'm like, well, music has this kind of crazy way to just like, I can make this and just send it to you.
Yeah.
You know, and like it was that Bottle Caps kind of came. I have never talked about this before. I never talked about this before, just out in the public. But Bottle Caps was very much like just based on my living situation at the time. Like I was staying with a friend from high school, and like who used to drink often, and like we used to for sure be drinking together, for sure, to be honest. But like, you know, they were actively bottle caps on the floor, and like, you know, just thinking about like the song pretty much was just mainly just saying like throughout all the strife and the distance that we have between us at the moment, I still have strong love for you. Yeah. And like that, like love is, man, I can get like love songs have changed me. Okay. Cause I know you said, you know, you haven't heard any like not too much like rap that I've done, but rap is where it started. Okay. Hip hop and rap is where it all started. And honestly, I still think I'm a rapper regardless of all the singing songs that I do. But but just to answer your question so we can get through the most of them, but like Bottle Caps, like that kind of came at a beautiful time just for me to just kind of give my ex-girlfriend something, and it really performed, and people love it. People, I have someone,
it's got like a million streams on SoundCloud.
Yeah,
like
it's a million streams on SoundCloud, probably about almost 5 on Spotify.
Wow.
And yeah, it's doing its thing. And I'm very grateful. I have a fan who like, well, I call them players. The like fans is a very itchy word, but shout out to the players. Can we make some noise for the players?
Make some noise for the players.
Shout out to the players out here.
Here's some Detroit questions with some Detroit players.
You know, so yeah, you see what you hear.
I see.
You hear. So like the players really have kept it up, you know, like I haven't dropped music in quite some time, and just the feeling of being able to sit on a catalog that people like can really resonate with feels good. But there's one player who has a tattoo of my lyrics and like a big like anchor and like just bottle cap lyrics on top of it, and it's just like it's I think the ending of the hook of Bottle Caps, and just to even just see that, it's like, oh my God, what have I done? Like, what have I done? But there's this immense like wave of gratitude that just charges at me, just knowing that people resonate with this art, knowing I was in a really weird place at the time.
You expressed yourself. You
just
know,
just from
a lot of people
yourself.
that feel the same way. You know what I mean? And I respect you for having the confidence to do that and to release it to the world. You know
Thank you
I mean?
so much. I really appreciate it.
That's one of my problems that I have with some rappers these days. I always say I feel like, you know, a nuke could drop tomorrow, could be World War III, and their next song will be about their Rollie and their Benz and things like that. It is so disconnected from the people that their music is supposed to be serving.
And if that's the thing that you want to do, like I'm not about to be the old dude waving, you know, wagging my fist at the cloud, but at the same time, like this art thing is nothing to play with.
Yeah, you're making art for these people, you're making music for these people, and you have no perspective on what they might be feeling or going through. Yeah, and if anything, a lot of hip hop, in my opinion, kind of shits on the average man. Like if they have memes about it, but like it make you feel like a loser for having a job.
Yeah, I want to challenge that narrative. Yeah. I don't think I don't know if you were gonna have time to even get or have a question like this, because I know this is definitely something I've been building, but I'm gonna make this quick. I'm in the activity of in the action of building, like I just want to build a community where we can kind of normalize and demystify this whole hip hop and art thing, because not hip hop, but just more so music and art, and how like you can have a job and still be an artist.
Exactly.
Like, because this thing, art is not, art and capitalism really don't mesh.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, it don't.
They shouldn't cross, but at the same time, when art and commerce does come together, if you're going to do that, have some spirit with you to kind of like get through that, because otherwise my goal is to try to create a community where we like understand and normalize the fact that you get it how you live. I am grateful enough to sit here and say that I have been an independent artist, sustaining myself from my music since about 2016. Wow. And just being able to say that comfortably, and the people around me being able to do that comfortably. Shout out to all of Forever Golden. Shout out to can you make some noise around? Shout out to B Free. Shout out to Curtis Roach, Wyandotte, Santana Adventure.
Yeah, well, a couple of names I've seen on your catalog, you've produced by stuff like that.
Yeah, this is like, and these are people that I've kept around me on the sense of just being creative and like knowing that it is not often when people have that capability to be able to sustain themselves with it. So when you do it, you got to go hard with it. Yeah. And then at the same time, if you don't have the luxury to sustain yourself with your art, there is nothing wrong with treating your job like the label or treating your job like the bank. You feel me? Like just don't let social media get you fucked up and act like you can't do this shit because music is for everybody.
I don't know why I don't know, man. I just feel like hip hop used to be more connected with the average man.
Come on, man.
You know what I mean?
And that's what we're here to do.
For real.
That's what we're doing right here.
That's what your customers are trying to, you know what I'm saying?
Come on.
So my next one I have for you here is you launched your career on SoundCloud in 2016, where you amassed a global audience quite quickly. You know, which is what you was putting out there. How does it feel? What did it feel like seeing your music take off in that way?
Man, great question. I think so let's back up. Life was weird at the time, just for me as an individual. Like being the first person in your friend group to hit 1 million streams, even 100,000 streams, is like, it doesn't really seem important until like you are kind of seeing the comments and like the fans and the players and the people who are coming in and just being like, yo, this song here changed my high school career. This song got me through law school. This song got me through this, that, and the third. And I think like if it wasn't for those reassuring words and things of that nature, I don't think I would have really felt it for real. Yeah. Like I never was the type of person who kind of like, you know, sat and just dwelled on the vanity metrics of like Spotify and SoundCloud and stuff like that. But I did know it was important.
Yeah, your numbers are important.
Yeah, your numbers are important. And just the feeling of seeing myself grow in that space, it felt good to have a community of people around me that kind of just be like, damn, bro, you really grinding. I'm like, damn, am I really? I'm grinding for real. Like, and it all in all, it felt, I'm still grateful for the amount of like support that I get on on a regular basis.
It means a lot. It does mean a lot, especially when you're pushing through. You know what I mean? Like I'm just saying. When I went through, because it still sucks. It still sucks. Yeah, whatever. When I went through the car accident, you know what I'm saying.
And thank God you're here.
Yeah, I'm thankful.
Make some noise for the fact that we're here.
I'm still here.
We're here.
And even after I survived, I was about to not be here because of the situation I was in. You know what I'm saying?
Hey.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Because I was going through it. But you know, I was that same week, that same Friday. This man I'm working with. He brought me to this event to to film it with my drone and the film, the type of event. You know, I mean, I was talking to the people there and. You know, they were very encouraging. They were very like impressed by my work. They were very happy with what I was doing. You know what I'm saying? And I needed that positivity in that moment. You know what I mean? Because like, regardless how much work I had put in, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes you could lose perspective. Yeah. And you could feel like the situation's hopeless. Yeah. You know what I mean? But
even if you're doing great things.
Exactly.
Yeah, because so you're so tailored into what your worldview and your perspective
and it puts a lot of pressure on you. That's why I always said like, I remember in the beginning when I used to want people to believe in me. You know what I'm saying? Like, no one gonna believe in me. Fine, I'll just keep doing it, right? Yeah. But now I'm at the level where I have some people that do believe in me. Yeah. That almost look at me as their also ticket out of it. You know what I'm saying? And like, and I was asking for people to believe in me without realizing what that is going to do to you. So it puts more pressure on you. Yeah. So now when I take an L, I don't feel like it's just me taking an L. I feel like it's me and the people that are hoping I could keep pushing. You know what I mean? So it's even more pressure on you. Jeez. You know what I mean? So then when you take a big L and you really at your lowest, you like, dog, all these people want me to perform. All these people want me to continue going. You know what I mean? And it's like, and he'd be like, damn, bro, you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, it'd be like, I just had to remember, you know, I had titled the podcast with this, maybe episode 104, because even though it was a blessing in the long run, around episode 102, my co-host like decided he didn't want to be the co-host anymore.
Oh man,
you know what I mean? And that sucked, but in the end, it was a blessing because even though I love him, and I still fuck with him. Shout out to Rainy Days, you know what I'm saying?
Shout out to Rainy Days.
But he was in New York, so we used to do the podcast over Zoom when it first started.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I knew that for the podcast to grow to an in-studio, in-person thing, how come my co-hosts be halfway across the country?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's tough.
But still at the time, we was bubbling and we was making it happen still over Zoom, you know what I'm saying? And it's just like, damn, I had a couple episodes I had to do alone.
Yeah.
So I did a couple episodes by myself, and I did maybe 10 or 15 like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The first couple was a little rocky. I tried to do a fake interview because these suck. I hope y'all never go watch them because both of them suck. Because what I tried to do was, because I have the ability to do accents.
Yeah.
Right? So I was like, it's not video. They're not going to know. I tried to pretend like I was introducing a guest, and I tried to have a double-sided conversation with myself.
Oh, see,
you know what I mean?
Creative. Yeah,
I was like, and introducing Muhammad to the show. How you doing, motherfucker? I have never done. So how you feel about this and that? I don't know. I cannot really tell you, my friend. You know what I mean? So I tried to pretend like I was different. You know what I mean? Or I tried to do the British one.
That's amazing,
man. And it didn't. The British one turned out better just because I'm better at the British accent. But at the same time,
I'm pretty good at a British accent.
Yeah.
Also.
You got one?
I got it. I have a pretty, you know, it takes some time to kind of tailor, but at the same time, you just got to feel it, you know.
I love that. You know, you really got it.
It's one of the things, you know, being from England, it can have its ups and downs, but at the same time, it's super important for us to. It's super fun to talk about. I can't laugh. Shout out to the UK.
I love that. You know
Shout out to the romance.
Yeah, because I'm telling you, I got a whole call list of businesses. Only about 50 right now. I gotta get more businesses on it. But what I plan to do, just calls to try to get sales. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whatever. And I plan to do it with my normal accent. But if I don't get a sale by the 30th call, straight London coming out, bro. I promise you. Man. I'm like, oi, man, what's going on? It's your business. I've got what you need, man. If you think I'm not doing it, you're wrong.
You're wrong.
Because I'm telling you that I'm going to do it. And if they're not working with me, I'm like, oh, you know what? Just let's up our chances just a bit. You know what I mean? Let's
Bell
just
me.
draw them in a bit more. You know what I mean?
Bell me.
You know what I mean? Allow me, bro. Allow me, man.
Allow
Sorry.
me.
You know what I mean? But yeah,
Yes.
I'm gonna definitely give the British up to them because that's the accent I do best besides regular talk. You know what I'm saying? So I was gonna get that up for sure because it's not gonna make my sales go lower.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna tell you right
okay?
now.
Stop
you know
playing.
what I'm saying? So,
Yeah.
but yeah, man. Nothing like the encouragement when you need it at a certain time, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that pressure is a lot, man.
Yeah.
Pressure is a lot. You know what I'm saying?
And I think the thing I want to say as just a lasting piece for that is if you know someone that makes music or know someone that's in this sort of public facing space, where whether they're in a growing their presence online in any way, shape, or form, you don't know how much power you have into being able to support these people because just a like, a comment, a subscribe, a hitting the notification bell, just a DM. Yeah. A DM can go crazy.
Yeah.
Yo, I saw your podcast. I really love it. Just keep doing your thing.
Yeah.
Or just being able to be engaging and interacting and even if you have the privilege to be able to see some of these creators in person and these people personally, we need that support.
We do.
Super important.
So many times I've gone back to a DM or thought about what someone has said that was encouraging. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it helps me to keep going. It does help me to keep going because it's not easy, especially this podcast game.
Yeah, dude.
It's not easy, dog. It's not easy. I enjoy it because I love talking to people.
Yeah.
I love learning new stories, hearing new perspectives.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I love doing it.
Yeah.
But I have to love doing it. That's the only way it got to 160 something episodes. You know what I'm saying? Because
hey, make some noise for 160.
100. It's not easy, man. It's not easy. Listen, I can show you they said the chances of you making it past episode 50, they said 90% of podcasts don't. So they're not even talking about the chances of you making money.
Yeah.
Or they're just talking about you even making it to episode 50.
Wow.
You know what I mean? There's a 90% chance you ain't going to make it. Just so you know, that's what the statistics say.
Wow.
You know what I mean? So not necessarily you making it, but just you just making episode 50 is like probably not gonna. And all episodes like 2 hours, 3 hours, an hour. I ain't throwing out no 10-minute pod. I seen somebody that had a podcast that had like 30 episodes, but there was all like 20 minutes. I'm like, all right. I mean, it's I guess, but that's not really what this medium does for real. You know what I'm saying? But all right, I understand that. You know what I mean? But because the podcast game it's not easy.
Yeah.
But nothing else, nothing in this world that's worth having is easy. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. I agree 1,000%.
You gotta get kicked in the shin so you learn how to run right.
You know sweet chin music.
Yeah, for real. So how did you get into no. Before that one. You know what I mean? So after you have had all of the success, you know what I mean, and you've collaborated with so many people. Like, how do you stay motivated and stay still progressing towards the future? Like, what is because a lot of people, if they make it to a certain level, they'll feel like they made it already, or they'll feel like there's no work left to be done. Or they feel like, so how do you keep it fresh and keep renewing your motive to keep pushing?
Yeah, I think, like I said before, if it wasn't for the people that are around me and just in the world that they're in, like their respected worlds that they're in, it's very much like seeing that is very inspiring to be able to make me want to try and do new things. But I remember saying this earlier in the pod where I said, I oftentimes within my development into music, I used to say the only thing I know how to do is music.
Yeah.
And if it wasn't for me having this support system that I have and going to Portland and living in Portland for a brief amount of time and working at Wyden and Kennedy, it made me, it kind of opened up this sort of new world of how creativity works and how important it is to kind of stay making. Another Wydenism is put the work first, and like even if I'm not writing a song, I can make a beat. If I'm not making a beat, I can write a script. If I'm not writing a script, I can take shoot content and stuff. There's so many
you're
different.
Very good at with the content.
Thank you so much.
You be
Thank
funny
you so
as hell.
much.
You go to the content. You funny as hell. Dog.
Thank you. I truly appreciate that because I oftentimes I feel very much like I don't be wanting to be the silly dude, but at the same, because we artists, we want people to take our shit serious.
Exactly.
But at the same time, I can't act like shit don't be funny.
Exactly.
It should be just having me rolling.
I struggled a lot with that, and I still do kind of. I just haven't, though, because I remember so many people you should be a comedian, you should be funny. And I remember when I was a rapper, I was like, listen, I can't be making the jokey jokes and then rapping the rap.
Yeah,
I want you to take me seriously. So I always felt like comedy was something that I couldn't quite get into because I felt like it would maybe not take me seriously.
Yeah, I think, and that's the cool thing about that too. To answer your question, it's very much like it knowing that there's so many other forms of artistic mediums to dive yourself into. Yeah, that's the thing that keeps me going. Yeah. It's like I'm a student.
Changing skill sets.
Yeah, it's changing skill sets, being able to diversify and understand that if I'm gonna make, I want to make. I want to continue to make. Right now, I am working with Jason Gaines with Lone Visionary, and we're making a lot of horror short films.
Cool.
And he is the head director. Doing this is his world. I never used to be a horror movie nigga, by the way. Horror movies was not my bag, in the slightest. But Jason was always that person to kind of be like, yo, you got to check this out. This one crazy. I'm just like, no, bro. And then I saw Hereditary. Have you seen Hereditary with Ari Aster?
I think I've heard of it, though.
If you've seen Hereditary, there's people, it's pre-Hereditary people. There's a community of people I'm talking to now. Yeah. There's pre-Hereditary, and then there's post-Hereditary. You see your life before you saw Hereditary, and then your life right after you saw Hereditary.
Wow.
And for me, first off, that movie scared me half to death. I could not sleep for 2 days straight.
Damn.
But I remember sitting here telling myself, and I think where the benefit of all of this came from was when I started to transition more into the, script writing and stuff, was I'm like, why is this movie so scary? I had to ask myself, why am I so scared?
Yeah.
And after watching breakdowns and people like talk about it and seeing the directors talk about it and stuff like that, it felt so good to be like, you know what, Jason? I'd love to help you out with this type of stuff.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
absolutely.
Like, I'd like to be able to write some scripts. I think I can scare the shit out of somebody if I wanted to, and it feels good to say.
What is script writing like? But what the hell is that really?
It's
what is that?
It's a wild world. Like, now for me and Jason, like, we very much are in the department of, man, I hope that you got him. Did you kill him?
I didn't. I saw him fly off and laugh at me.
Oh man, I can't wait till he comes back. We're destroying his entire bloodline.
Sorry, this fly's been plaguing us the whole time.
Yeah. Shout out to this fly.
Yeah.
But script writing is like, it's for me and for Jason and I, we're very much like, it's just me and Jason sitting in a room talking like this and just going, all right, what if this happened? All right, what if this happened? What if this happened? No, but what if this happened? Yeah, what if that happened? And we building and like there's nothing that we won't put off the table. Like, for example, we have a horror short with can we please make some noise for Emmy Award winner Al Martin real quick?
Wow.
Shout out to Al Martin.
Hell yeah.
Shout out to the brother Al Martin. He just had a birthday. Shout out to the Libras.
Yeah, happy birthday.
It is imperative for us to kind of like be around good people. That's a side quest, side thing. But we have a short film called Alone, where we were just sitting here trying to, we make horror shorts for our YouTube channel, and that we just recently got to 100,000 subscribers on YouTube.
Wow!
So
shout out to y'all.
Yeah, shout out to Long Visionary. Shout out, we're really making it happen, and we're here to scare the shit out of you, and we're here to make great work. But with Alone, that was like one of those types of things where when we sat down and we're trying to think of the concept of it, like we went to what we were already familiar with, which was social media. Like, we're in socials. You ever just get to being on social so much that you feel like this, there's two worlds. Like, it's you and then there's your social you.
Yeah.
And I think that's what we kind of wanted to, personify. But how that script writing process went is we talked a lot about the psychology of that and just understanding like how we wanted to,
portray that.
Yeah, how could we really personify that, and especially through this medium, through an amazing actor, Al Martin. And from that, we'll take that, try to get the story and just the reason why we were making the story in general. Mm-hmm. But from taking that story, once we have the story, then that's when we go, all right, time to twist this shit. Like, oh my God. And if you plan on watching, I implore you to go watch Alone on YouTube at Lone Visionary.
Go watch it.
Because we I'll just say this little piece, but we are very, and this might not be for the clip, but this is for the pod. We very much, like, when we came up with that movie, I was just like, what if like we contorted a person, like, instead of like sometimes monsters can be like really like monstery, but like, what if this person, like, instead of like, doing like a regular jump scare, like, we just make them contort, like literally turn into like the letter N, like for taking your legs into your head and doing like that. Like, we literally think outside. We're trying to think completely conventionally outside of the box, and and especially just knowing that the landscape of Detroit filmmaking is in a very it's fertile. It's a very fertile place. Yeah. Like, on one scope, you have Tubi, Steph. Yeah. Tubi, Steph. Tubi. Got Steph on Tubi. I
feel like there's some animosity there. I feel like there's some shade going on there.
I'll let you interview Jason Gaines, and I'll make sure that he gets on so he can talk about that. But he knows me, and so I won't do that right now. But shout out to Tubi, and shout out to all the creators on there. And we have other people in the filmmaking space who are really doing great work. So like I am very much appreciative of that. But the script writing process in general is very collaborative, very much like throwing everything on the wall, see what sticks, and is it really scary? How is it touching something that's human to us?
Yeah.
And it's really fun. The script writing in general is just super.
I'm trying to get into it a little bit because I don't know. I've always wanted to be an actor. Always wanted to be an actor. To be honest, ever since I did that my senior year, I've told the story a couple of times. I'm gonna try not to, but my junior year of high school.
Yeah.
So I went to school, the same high school for all 4 years. My junior year of high school, my entire junior year of high school, every day.
Yeah.
And also outside of school, I talked with a British accent.
Okay.
And I told people I was from London. I did it for a whole year. And then
awesome.
when I stopped, everyone was telling me I should be an actor because the reason why I stopped my senior year is because I didn't want people to graduate really thinking I was from London. You know what I'm saying? And it really blew my mind, too, because I had friends that I thought was my friend for the first 2 years.
Yeah.
And then I stopped talking like I'm from London, you know what I mean? Chatting everyone up, you know what I mean? I'm like, oi, man, yeah, I've been there, you know what I mean? My dad was there, you know what I mean? This is where I'm from and all that. And I'm like, oi, man, you know me for 2 fucking years. How could you think I'm actually from London, man? Yeah, but you have not been listening? So it blew my mind. I was like, bro, you know I'm not from London, dog. How could you?
No, stop it, because make some noise for the transition into the New York to the. That is amazing. Like, no,
I was like, how could you not? How could you? You're not listening. I had my teachers arguing the whole time. Like, oi, man, I had in the first 2 years, he's not from London. He's like, oi, man, he shows up in my class every day from London. What makes more? I had them arguing in the fucking lunch breaks. I'm like, I'm telling you, he's from London. He's really not. He's not, I promise you. He's like, no, I've met him this year. He's from London. I'm telling you that. You know what I mean? So they were all going back and forth about it. But what happened was, the reason why I stopped it is, number one, I didn't want them graduate leaving. Like, oi, man, he's really from London. At graduation, I got to go to school in London. It didn't happen, bruv. It didn't happen. I'm from Brooklyn. And the other thing is that what happened was I actually started to think in a British voice, you know what I mean? My inner voice started to change.
Yeah.
And the other thing is my friends, they really fucked me with this one. Whenever they would do, they were like, oi, man, you're my friend, and I know you're not really from London. All I've been hearing in London all week. Do me a favor, man. Can you stop just for a moment? Just to let me know that you're still in there. And I'd be like, all right, bro, I'm stopping. They'd be like, no, man, you lost yourself. You said something, you're from London, you're done. You're finished, man. And that would fuck with me because, like, my inner head would still be kind of London. But I would be like, I'm pretty sure I'm not doing it anymore. And then they would be like, nah, bro, you still London.
You were in the film business. You were in the film business. They call it method acting.
Yeah. I might have been in a little too deep. So there was a couple of years where I straight didn't do it for years because I was like almost afraid of it. I was like, I don't want it to fuck up my brain and my head. Like I was like, listen, I'm not from London. I'm gonna just stop it. Yeah. You know what I mean? But it was fun. But it was fun. It was fun. And sometimes I made this joke on one of my stories. I was like, sometimes my British self talks to me. He's like, do you remember that year you let me take over, man? Do you remember? Like, girls talking to you for no reason, all sorts of friends. Yeah. It was the funnest year of your life to a degree. You know what I mean? If you just let me take over one more year.
Yeah, I think we need one more year.
We go viral. We'll be out of here, bro. Everything's going on. Just give me one more chance, man. Just one more year, bro. Change your whole fucking life. I promise you. You know, one more, bro. You know what I mean? So I was joking about that. Like, I'm not going to do it. But let me tell you, times get too hard. I might give him that one more year.
Hey,
dog.
for real.
I might let him.
And honestly, and all jokes aside, I would love to try to get you on some shorts. Like I mean, if you're down to fuck with some horror films,
absolutely. Like, you know what I mean? Absolutely, I'd be totally down for that.
Yeah,
you know
you got to meet Jason, like for sure, because he's definitely like.
I would love to have him on. I would love to talk to another filmmaker, a true filmmer. Yeah, because I'm. Do I want to be? Yes. Do I have a production company? Yes. Do I have I produced any films? No. And I've only just produced a skit or two. Yeah. You know what I mean? So I'm just getting into it. Yeah. But I love it. I love everything about it. Yeah. You know what I mean? I love the behind the camera. I love the acting, the sound, everything about it. Because one of the major reasons why I got into this is because I have a message that I want to spread. It's a message of positivity. Yeah. It's a message of self-reliance. Yeah. A motivation. A message of motivation. I want to show people that what the roles that they set up for you to engage in are not the only roles available. You know what I mean?
Talk to him. Make some noise for that. Yeah, we need some applause for just for that. That damn near need a clue bomb.
I'm telling you, for real. I used to have one on my old interface. You know what I mean? I slowly stole it off the end. But anyway, sorry, DJ. You know I respect.
Yeah, shout out to DJ Clue. You know we out here.
But yeah, and I know how much of an impact that movies can have on the culture.
Yeah.
The right movie can change a lot of people's minds on things. You know what
Absolutely.
I'm saying? So I recognize the power it has. I recognize that our culture is in need of a change and a shift.
Yeah.
So I'm like, this is probably one of the best mediums to get it to happen through. You know what I'm saying?
There's no better time than the present.
Yeah. So I've always loved it for
present.
that reason. And script writing, I was just like, what is a concept for this skit? What is the direction? What is the punchline of this skit? What is the lead up? Because really, a skit is on the internet. You only got 1 minute to get this.
Yep, you got to get it off.
You got to get it out. So it's like beginning, middle, end, full concept. You know what I mean? And I've been bumping my head with that a bit. You know what I mean? It's taken a while. I got a couple ideas.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? My most fleshed out one, I'm going to try to get this out quick because I got more quick. My most fleshed out idea I have, which all I need is an old man suit. I haven't done it yet because I even figured out I could do. So I figured out through online editing that I can pretty much recreate the Doctor Strange portals, which is just like that. The portals. Yeah. So,
so
my
awesome.
idea for it was going to be a Motivation Monday. It was a Motivation Monday, but it was really going to be like a bit of a drama.
Yeah.
So the idea I had, long story short, was me stepping through that portal every Monday, but it's my future self stepping into that portal to talk to my present self. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I came up with this concept called temporal confidence. So like temporal is like time, confidence, right? So he's like, there's 3 levels of it. So I stepped through, and I'm talking about me now as my future self. And of course, I'm like, yo, I'm going through this problem. Yo, how do I get out of this? Yo, and I'm like, he's like, I'm not allowed to tell you that. You know what I mean? Because you still at level 1.
Yeah.
And I mean, what's level 1? I'm like, level 1 is if I tell you anything about the future or anything about it, you're going to instantly use that to try to change the future. You know what I mean? So you're at level 1. I can't tell you anything about it. You know, all I can do is the fact that I'm here lets you know that you made it through it. So Motivation Monday, the mere fact that you're here through the portal, you know whatever you're going through, you made it. I just can't tell you how you did it.
Shout out to
You know what I mean?
sci-fi.
Yeah,
Can we just
for
sci-fi,
right?
Yeah,
and then level two is he can tell me what he's about to do.
Ooh.
So that still doesn't affect me. He could tell me what he's about to do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think level 3 was going to be he can tell me where he is.
Yeah.
Because he's always coming through from a different place when he's doing things. So he could tell me where he's coming from and what he's about to do. You know what I mean? But still at no level can he tell me the answer to my problems. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because he's like, when you get to level 3, when you get true temporal confidence, where you don't try to use your knowledge of the future to change the future. You just embrace the challenges because you trust that you'll make it through it.
Yeah.
Because you know that because I'm here talking to you from the future.
Yeah.
But you still don't have confidence that you'll make it to me talking to you from the future.
Yeah.
So you need to have true temporal confidence in whatever time and space that you're dealing with that. Regardless of what you're dealing with, you're meant to make it through it.
Yeah.
Because hey, you get to talk to yourself in the future on Monday. You know what I mean?
That to me says a lot. Like, and not to cut you off, like that to me reminds me of I think because we were briefly about to start talking about KRS-One.
Yeah.
And I think he had like this this keynote that I saw him speaking at where he was talking about how we are kind of fifth dimensional
outside of space and
time, and having that conversation by saying I am and speaking and speaking very much like into the talking to this person.
Yeah.
Because you're kind of more like persona, like putting in a physical space the third and fifth dimension and just trying to like communicate with yourself. Because I think that's the biggest, toughest thing for us to do just as humans is to understand our conscious self and our subconscious self and make them work in tandem with each other. It's a tough thing to do.
It is. It really
is. Shout out to that.
I was gonna have Motivation Mondays when I'm going through something and he comes through the portal and he's like, "What happened this week?" I'm like, "Bro, this happened. This and that happened," and he just sort of like puts it in perspective. He'd be like, "Yeah, but he's gonna be like, well, you have no idea what I've been through.
Yeah,
I know what you've been through, and I know what's coming. You need to get through this for what's coming.
Tell him.
You know what I mean? You think this is pain. You ain't experienced pain yet.
You don't know nothing.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like this is preparing. So it sort of changed my mindset, set me back down, and motivate me to make it through. Like, listen, I made it through. Like he's still here. And I was gonna have one where it was a drama where I was like, I don't know how I was gonna do it, but he started like that 1 week he like starts like halfway disappearing during this. He's like, well, what did you do this week? And I'm like, I don't know, bro.
I have no idea.
I'm like,
I have no idea.
I'm like, I'm fading. You better go fix it. But that'd be crazy. That would ruin the whole thing. No, oh, you supposed to be here, dog. And now you fading away. What did I do?
Like, I'm sorry. My bad. Let me get a redo.
But anyway, just because like I think about that all the time. I was rapping to my future self one time, and I was like, I bet it was funny watching me almost lose confidence. I bet it was funny watching me
talk that talk.
Watch me
man, drop some
almost
applause
lose
on
faith.
that one.
You know what I'm saying?
Drop some applause. We here.
Yeah, right.
Okay.
I bet it was funny watching me falter and get so stressed out about thinking I would never make it through.
But look at us
while you
now.
sitting there looking at me like, look at him. He's fucking hopeless.
Yep.
He doesn't know he's gonna make it.
Yep.
But he is. But
Come on now.
he can't see it right now. You know what I mean? He's looking back like I remember I was so stressed out.
There's so
You know what I mean?
have like just I'm very much like empathetic of that world because like it feels sometimes it's so tough for us to kind of like have like just that the feeling of like understanding what a future self could personifying a future self just within yourself.
Yeah.
To say, bro, you got it. You don't even know you got it, but you got it.
Yeah.
Man, that feels good.
Yeah, it does. It does. And it does help me mentally in some ways. All right, now I gotta get Jesus Christ.
How many more questions?
I can't even tell you. It's sad. I can't even tell you. It's really
Hey,
sad.
if you want to speed run, I can speed run.
Yeah.
I be yapping, so that's my fault.
Yeah. No, it's not my fault. I talk a lot. That's why I got a podcast. Man.
Hey, shout out to podcast.
Yeah, right. You know what I'm saying. But look, all right. So, what do you enjoy more? Producing music, creating social media content, or exploring new mediums like video games and sound design?
Exploring new mediums like video games and sound design.
Exploring new mediums.
Facts.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, like I can't really compare each. Like, making content is so much fun.
Yeah.
Like it has its perks. I think there's a weird space when it comes down to like dealing with the algorithms and stuff like that, and just trying to like get through the rigmarole of that. It sucks, but producing music and just making music in general is my life blood. So like I kind of have like that's like my baby mama. You know what I mean? Like that's like
you gotta deal with it.
I got to deal with her. That's my that's the love of my life still. But
that's
we
funny.
had a lot of kids together. But you know what I mean? So like that's somebody I got to deal with. But exploring new creative mediums, dude, it's like I feel like Luffy, trying to ride the Grand Line. You know what I mean? Like, just the feeling of just trying new things, and I have so many interests.
Yeah. I feel you.
There is no better feeling than that. Truly.
I love that. You know what I mean? So you've been featured on platforms like the Shade Room and Rap TV.
This is
true. I mean,
true.
how did these media features impact your career, and what advice would you give to artists trying to gain exposure?
Man, look, okay. How has it changed me? Okay.
How did it impact your career?
How did it impact my career? Okay. I have gotten just random, I'm just never on it. Like I have people that reach out, like brands that reach out to me that want to like sponsor their like businesses through me. And I'm just like, I just don't know how to go about it. Like I just don't know how to go about it. But the video that the content that ended up getting on Rap TV in the Shade Room changed my entire landscape of TikTok and just like how that world went. But my phone was physically heavier with the amount of notifications that I received from that. Like it was insane. Shout out to LaRon Hines and Jabria and all of those folks over there.
Shout out to
so
y'all.
crazy to even think
Shout
of and say
out my
that.
guy,
But it was very much like surreal, like because you getting all that love and attention. It's like like how do you even get know that that's real? But what was the second part of that question? I just want to make sure I get that right.
What advice would you give to people artists trying to gain exposure?
For an artist that's trying to gain exposure, if I'm talking to you directly, you should understand that you don't need to deal with it's so many different things. If I want to give you like a real gem, just make, bro. Just make. And I know that shit sounds like internet just like somebody just saying, just grind, bro.
Yeah.
I hate just grind, bro, niggas. Like niggas just telling you just to grind. So I'm gonna say this. You need to just be making way more, but I would argue that your ideas that you're making, that you're trying, that the one idea that you're thinking you shouldn't do because it might be cringe, you would need to do that one.
Yeah.
It's that idea.
For sure.
It's because I feel like oftentimes I get into this heady space with myself where I feel like making content can be a very cringy process.
Yeah.
Like the feeling of just pulling out your phone and being like, ugh, and then I'd be making like little skits and shit on my phone. So like just the feeling of that is a very like, it's a very like revealing sort of process. Most of the time I'm no haircut, just looking just like scruff and rough as possible and whatever.
And it's still getting the views, still being funny,
still getting
landing.
the views, still like, dude, you don't have to be dolled up. It don't have to be the best lighting. Some of you motherfuckers is too cute.
Yeah.
Some of y'all want to be too pretty. Some of y'all want to make y'all. Some of y'all is too cool, way too cool.
Yep.
And if you wanna get attention in this social media space, I'd argue that it has a lot to do with your understanding of just this very pivotal and essential piece of creative development, which is called fuck it. If you've ever just embodied some fuck it in your life with anything that you do, you'll get through it. And honestly, the universe will kind of just reward you with that type of thing. Like the feeling of you making that ground of starting a new thing is saying, fuck it, let's just start it.
Exactly.
And then you making that first episode or that first piece of content, fuck it, let's just edit it.
Yeah.
Fuck it, let's just put it up. Fuck it, let's just keep commenting and responding to these people. Just we don't know what's going to happen, but fuck it.
Yeah.
You know, and that's what it's about. And then rinse and repeat. And it is a lot of luck that kind of comes with it too.
Yeah.
But I'd argue that that's the fundamentals into getting viral success on any social media platform is consistency, being 102% yourself. And
that part.
For real. And understanding that you ain't about to please everybody.
No.
Just fuck it.
Just
go for that shit.
It and pull it out.
Yeah.
I'm about to have to do that, to be honest with you.
I'm sorry.
But I'm about to have to do that exact same thing because, you know, I've been going through whatever I've been going through, right?
Yeah.
And in a lot of ways, I haven't really expressed that online or like put it into a creative way.
Yeah.
And I remember one of my favorite specials by Kevin Hart was Laugh at My Pain.
Yeah.
And I think one of the things that really connects on social media, would always connect, is real, true emotion.
There we go.
You know what I mean?
And something that everyone can relate to, too.
Exactly.
Bringing value.
That experience that you have, if I had to give advice, that experience that you had that's embarrassing, that experience that you had that hurt you emotionally, that you don't want to talk about or you want to act like never happened, and you don't want to publicize, that exact experience and how it made you feel is exactly the thing that could potentially change your life and take you out of that situation if you were only to be yourself and truly tell your story as it's happening. You know what I mean? If you could truly just not give into this, I'll be embarrassed or this or that. Like, if it's real life, then it's real life. Go ahead and tell your story. It's real. Because it's yours to tell.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So you want to connect with people, give them something to connect to, give them something real that really happened.
And you deserve to share those stories.
Yeah. Yeah, you'll find support where you maybe thought you had none. You know what I mean? So
watch this.
I'm really talking to myself. You know what I mean? As a nigga who got scammed.
I say that. I say that those exact words. I say this to you to say to myself.
Exactly.
Because oftentimes, when even though I have some very grateful for the successes that I've won, there's many times where I need to hear that also, because creating and being in that creative space, we tend to get lost in the sauce. And it's nothing wrong with getting lost in the sauce as long as you're able to fail, pick yourself back up, and keep going.
Exactly.
Facts.
Exactly. You know what I mean? Because sometimes those fails give you the ability to handle bigger things. Because it's like if you're an artist, right, and you want to express yourself and you have your vision, right, and you taking a financial hit or you taking this type of hit, right, if you can't handle that, if you can't handle if you can't handle a $6,000 loss,
Yeah.
then when you're making it and the corrupt big movie people tell you, hey, we'll pay you $500,000 to do something that is completely against your morals to a degree, against you wouldn't have built up the resolve necessary to possibly be able to turn that offer down.
Yep.
You know what I mean? If you've never taken any loss financially that hurts you, you know what I mean? But if once you take several losses that have hurt you and you've come back from them, still be able to be yourself,
Come on.
then when they dangle that little $500,000, whatever, a couple $100,000 in front of your face, you'll be like, nah, I'll take that loss.
Yeah.
I'll take that loss because
I'm gonna take it because I have a plan.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And
you know
be
what I mean?
confident in that.
So you need that resolve. It'll help you in the long run. You know what I mean?
Facts.
At least that's what my future self would tell me, maybe.
Yeah.
But anyway, right now it's like, nigga, nah.
Nigga, figure it out.
But yeah, all right. So moving on to some other ones I got for you here. So can you tell me about a male or a female influence in your life that influenced how you feel about relationships and dating?
Man, this is that part of the interview, huh? Oh, man. Every romantic relationship that I've ever been in has been an inspiration for me.
Yeah.
Honestly, like.
As an artist here,
Like, Jesus. If you knew me, dude. Like, you only do. Like, oh my goodness. I have met first off, I have met so many beautiful and amazing women in my life that without them, I would not be the man who I am today. That is just period. Up, down, left, and right. If it was not for these women within all the good and within all the bad, I would not be here. So it is kind of really tough for me to kind of give it all to one person. But I would argue that when it comes down to relationships in general, it was very much just a lot of trial and error and just me.
So it was no one that you was thinking of that you like wanted to like I want a relationship like they have, or like I want to be with women the way he is with women. You know what I mean?
Now that's a good question. Okay, with that sort of context in mind, I mean, I've dated a lot of music artists, I've always wanted the Jay-Z and Beyonce thing. Like, that is super dope. But at the same time, like, I think that, and if listen, I'm talking to my ex right now. Okay. If you only knew how much I was thinking about this art and this music shit, I think we would have got along a lot better, for one. Mm-hmm. And for two, I want to kind of apologize because I knew that there was more so. I was very much in love with the idea of the feeling of the possibility of creating a Jay-Z and Beyonce sort of couple thing, so much to the point where I don't even think about my inner workings of myself or just how to nourish a relationship truly. And when you're in your 20s, bro, you don't know. Yeah. You don't know. Yeah. And so I hope that there is grace given at this point in time in our lives.
No, we all hate you.
Yeah. No, we all can't stand
I'm joking. What you call it? So what is your view on the concept of soulmates? Do you believe in it?
I do.
You do believe
I do. I believe in soulmates. I believe that you can have multiple, and not in the sense of just romantic. Like, I believe soulmates are very much in the department of I think that you people that you just meet and they just get it. Yeah. Like, not even on a romantic sense too, but just friendships and like I said before, the couple of people that I shouted out, like Jason, Sippy, Santana, like these types of people, like I can talk to them and I'm just like, no, they understand me on a totality level. Yeah. Yeah. And like those are my guys, you feel me? And there's been women in my life who I need them in my life. Yeah. In whatever capacity that kind of provides that in. Like I have I'm trying not to like go on names, you know. Like the thing is, I'm trying not to do names.
Yeah.
But like,
Can't sink the ship.
Yeah, can't sink the ship.
I feel you, dog. I feel you, dog.
Yeah, but like we gotta keep a steady ship in this motherfucker.
Yeah.
But all in all, I am very much cognizant and conscientious and super grateful for the people that I've interacted with romantically, and some of which have went there in different directions, but the ones that I have, cultivated relationships with has been very much, I understand that we have a relationship that is kind of similar to a soulmate. Like, I can see my life with you in this life and the next.
Yeah. I just want a quick comment. Two quick comments I want to make. Mm-hmm. One is that I don't know, it might be controversial. I don't know how they feel about it.
Yeah.
But if I had to give my son advice, the one thing I would make sure I'm gonna tell him is to stay away from cougars. Stay away from cougars. Stay away.
Okay.
There's a lot of controversial reasons why I have that, but I'm telling you, stay away. Okay. Stay away. Yeah. That's one. And two, this girl that I wasn't even with, and I hope she doesn't see this part.
Well, you got the ability to edit.
Yeah, right. So because it's gonna be there. I don't edit my pod for it. I put it all up for it. But the thing is,
shout out to that.
I hope you know. But she said something to me that I never knew I wanted a woman to say to me before she said it.
Yeah,
and she's the only woman that's ever said it to me. And we're not in a relationship, but we in a relationship where I'm gonna work with her. Like, I'm gonna put her on camera. Yeah. She's a beautiful woman. Yeah. Beautiful woman. Yeah. You know what I mean? And she said something to me, and I was like, yeah, whoever I marry, gotta say that shit.
You feel know what I mean? Me?
She looked at me and she said, I want to see you win.
Ooh. Y'all don't get it.
I never heard that out of a woman or out of anybody. I was just like, that it just blew my mind, bro. Man. It blew my mind, bro. I was like, you want to see me win? I was like, damn.
Because that's that thing that, like, especially from a woman that you love and respect, and you get that from them, you hear that, that's that, I don't know what it is. I think it's that feeling of just being like a kid and getting your, like, that parental validation. Like, yeah, you do it. Like, you keep going. And then taking that and then personifying that as a man, you like, nah, like I needed that.
Yeah. So for my future wife, my future wife has to want to see me win.
Yes, I feel the exact same way.
A new requirement.
And because I think, oh my goodness, if I can be transparent, I've been in relationships where I just didn't know what I wanted. I feel like, especially for black men and just men in general, we kind of go, oh, she's pretty and she's nice, I like her. Yeah. That's kind of like the base level. Yeah. But I'd never really had standards or just really things that like I never knew what I deserved.
Yeah.
And I think that if it wasn't for, shout out to you, first off, you know that person that you just like, just let her say, all right, we getting together, y'all gonna get together. Yeah, that type of person.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking to right now. But the feeling of hearing your, like, I want you to win it is so powerful. And I want to double down on that from a personal experience of just being with a woman that in my life that had the space to see me at my ugliest, to see me at my lowest and still be there and still try to lift your spirit on top of that, because she knows what she's with. She knows who she's with. Yeah. That type of winning is something different. Yeah. Because it's not, because she's there to be able to say, oh, not only do I want to see you win, but even if you fall, I want to see you win so bad that even when you fall, I'm gonna help you pick you up.
Yeah.
I had one of them.
Now that's a woman you could get half of everything. All right.
You see what I'm saying? Like I got space on the fingers.
I'm telling you.
We got space on the fingers to move stuff around. These just fit here. Okay. These just fit here. The fingers are fat. But at the same time, like, love is everything.
I'm telling you.
Yeah, soulmates are definitely a thing.
I hear you on that. All right. So, damn. these questions.
Yeah.
I'll try to be quick. I'm trying.
Yeah, I'm a speed.
What do you think is the biggest challenge in dating today?
The biggest challenge in dating today is people are very much focused and drilled into the thing that they want and need for themselves. And I think there's a double-edged sword there because you really do need to understand you. But I think there's where the caveat comes into place is if you don't leave any brevity or room for people to be people, then you're not going to ever be in a happy thing.
Yeah.
Like I'm always, if I'm in a relationship or if I'm dating someone, I'm dating them.
Yeah.
That means the good, the bad, the ugly, everything that comes with them.
Yeah.
And I think that as in this sort of like, we're very much in a popcorn sort of culture where everything needs to be in the microwave and hot air fried. I think that like we have the capability to just be like, oh, she said something mean to me, and so now I'm about to just dip. Now, mind you, coming from a person who's had mean things said to them, I get it.
Yeah.
And when you don't know your worth or you don't understand the things that you feel like you deserve in a relationship, you're going to get treated that way.
Yeah.
I'd argue that to me, you need to have a clear understanding of you and a clear understanding of that person and what value are you providing to them and what value are they providing to you.
Yeah.
Not in a sense of just a monetarily valued. Getting into that whole that bullshit is just so like
I am the table.
Yeah, I am the table bullshit. If that's your vibe, that's your vibe. But at the same time, I believe in just development. I believe in just growing with a person. Mm-hmm. And if when I'm in a relationship with someone, like it is very much the same way with the homeboys. It's steel sharpens steel.
Yeah.
Because whoever I'm with ain't no spring chicken. You know what I mean? Like she's really on her shit.
Yeah.
I
respect that.
Yeah,
so
that
what is it?
That.
What is a dating red flag for you?
If you mean to your mama, you on some bullshit. If a woman and her mama is like beefed, y'all got to be careful with that. That's a red flag for me.
All right, I hear you on that.
That's a red flag. I can go deep in red flags.
So talk about my ex, think about certain things. I'm gonna go ahead and second that. And matter of fact, if she's mad at how you treat your mother, because you treat your mother nice and with love, and
talk about it.
If she feels that if she doesn't look at that and say, "Oh, that's how he'll treat me. That's how he treats the women in his life." If she looks at that love and is jealous of that love,
stop.
Run.
Come on.
All right, run.
There's so many red flags. I can go on.
So, what is one of your deal breakers?
A deal breaker for me.
Like y'all already in a relationship, but they do this thing, and it's like, nah, we can't be together no more.
I think that a strong deal breaker for me is like, of course, like there's probably a couple in there. I'm not gonna lie to you. Now that for some time has been kind of placed into my understanding of relationships, but at a prerequisite level, if we do not have a level of respect for one another and a level of just understanding that the last thing that I want to do is feel like I'm on guard with my woman.
Yeah.
I feel like as Black men, we kind of have this very much a constant on go sort of feeling when it comes down to just being out in the world, being out in the workplace, into creating. We often kind of like have to be bold and brazen and have like a strong exterior when it comes down to things. So whenever I'm with a deal breaker for me is a person, I just can't, I don't think I can really mesh with a person who has the capability of wanting to bring disrespect to the inner sanctum, because we know like a person that I'm supposed to be with understands that we are very much we're surviving together,
exactly,
and growing together.
Yeah.
And like I don't have the room or energy to kind of like do damage control of disrespect. Now, here's the thing. I think that it's a tough, the reason why I said disrespect is mainly because it's a tough world to be in, because typically most people have been through some sort of traumatic experience in their lives, so there's grace that kind of comes with that. But I believe that it's up to you to kind of discern it's up to people to kind of discern like who's like truly worth it, who's really brought like do the pros outweigh the cons, you know what I mean? And so a deal breaker is very much like disrespect. And like, and honestly, like just depending upon how you're moving throughout society, like if you yelling at fucking, you know, waiters and shit doing like random shit like that
poorly on me. And then you're always like, you're a liability.
Yeah. You out of pocket and just like it's just certain shit that's just like guaranteed to make us go like, nah, I don't even want to grow with you or
I feel
sit next to you in the movies.
So, I'm gonna skip that one. And shoulda. I think I'm. All right, fine. I'll ask it.
There we go.
So, should a man be a leader in the relationship?
What a great question. Should a man be a leader in a relationship? I believe that masculinity and our understanding of being a man, at least from my opinion, is very much like I have my own understanding of it and other men have their own understanding of it. Mm-hmm. I do not believe that there is a universal understanding of what masculinity is, what being a man is. I believe that, in my opinion, from how I would like to run my ship or whatever, I know that it is easier for me to lead because of the fact that I can plan around not only my life, but your life as well.
Yeah.
And I have the capability to kind of maneuver and shake and make sure that I can protect everything that I need to protect along the guideline of my leadership.
Yeah.
However, I do believe that there are some men who don't think that it is in their best interest to do so. And I believe that those men still are just as men as any other man.
Yeah.
I believe that there is a feeling that I have about modern society right now where it feels like it's kind of taboo to be a man.
Yeah.
You know?
You're not wrong.
Where it's like, I think that it's okay to kind of like, if you're not leading or whatever, that doesn't make you any less of a man, in my opinion. I believe that there are men who are standing on business. What is the common archetype of a man? You know, the man that's standing on business. He's doing all the things. He's making the plays. She like don't pay for nothing and all of that jazz. And like, and that I believe that is still a man. But I would argue that there's other archetypes of what a man is, and they should not be discounted in their masculinity, because that is exactly the attacks that kind of have been brazen and put onto us from the fucking you know what I mean? From like the longest times of during like slavery and so many different things of just buck breaking and all of these different things of trying to take whatever your clear understanding of what being a man is and trying to format it into this new quasi sort of, really white sort of understanding of what a man is supposed to be. And you can't tell me what a man is supposed to be, because as I walk, this is what a man is.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
I respect that.
Yeah.
I'll just say two things about it real quick.
Yeah.
One, you are 100% right on your feeling that there's an attack on men today.
Yeah.
I think that it is a slap in the face of all men in America.
Yep.
And that the biggest thing that men need to change, I gotta hurry up. The biggest thing that men need to change for sure is anytime a man admits to having any sort of weakness, any sort of mental faultness, any sort of now I'm gay or I'm feminine or I ain't a man or whatever the hell, right? I'm soft, whatever, right?
Weak, yeah.
So the mere fact that a man dealing with his mental troubles, that's one of the you're a Nancy boy, that, and the fact that y'all so y'all know that's something men have to deal with anytime we reveal any sort of vulnerabilities and the chinks in our armor.
Yeah.
Y'all know that. Anyone with a brain knows that. And what did y'all do?
Yeah.
What month did y'all put men's mental health in? What month is men's mental health? Woo! You know that, and you still made June Men's Mental Health Month. That's crazy. Hey. That is a slap in the face of every man in America. We need to get any other month to be Men's Mental Health Month than June. Hey. Get out of here. Stop it. Hey. Stop it. Stop it.
But
that's crazy.
Here's what I want to say. Now I totally understand what you're saying. However, I want to also kind of blanket statement and say I could not sit here and lie and say that there are not stand-up men in the LGBTQ community who embody themselves as men.
I have nothing against them.
You know,
I learned a fact. I learned a fact that blew my mind.
Yeah.
From Zack Snyder on a Jim Rogan podcast.
Yeah.
He was the one who created the movie 300.
Yeah.
And he said that the Spartan warriors, one of the greatest warrior forces known to man in history, were engaging in high amounts of gay sex between each other. You know what I mean? Because they're out there was like, you'll fight hard for your brother standing next to you, but you'll fight even harder for your lover standing next to you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, but he decided to leave that out the movie.
Yeah.
But at the same time, acknowledging that means that, listen, gay doesn't mean weak.
Yeah.
No, gay doesn't mean non-masculine. That's not what that means.
And I think if you're
gonna look at the Spartans and tell me that those ain't men, say it to their face.
I think to your point about like Men's Mental Health Month and it being into blend with the Gay Pride Month, I understand that. I think it's more of a black thing.
Needs to be another month.
To be honest. But at the same time, I think it's more of a black thing because black folks, our understanding of masculinity, and just name an older black dude, you know what I mean? Who like I even from some of the stuff that I have just sat here and said about just what I believe what a man is could be getting me like looked at in a sort of way.
Older guys.
And I think that for black folks, we have let's not get it twisted. Juneteenth is in June.
That's true too.
Juneteenth is in June too. Yep. And I think there's a world where I think we're kind of in a world where blackness and the understanding of what being black is, especially being a black man, is really jeopardized.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of things that can be put into place here that can distract you from that. And I think that the blending of those two is it's convenient. Yeah. I believe it is very convenient, but at the same time,
for who?
I think I think the most important thing is, regardless if those 2 months blend to each other, it is important to honor men's mental health.
It is,
and it's important to respect the LGBTQ community.
I'm not mad at y'all. I'm not mad at y'all. I'm just saying I want a parade too for men's mental health.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
Facts.
We we don't deserve to be celebrated. Like men don't deserve to be celebrated for all the work that we do.
Come on.
The 1 month we got to be over.
Shout out to the Man Enough podcast.
Yeah.
Have you watched the Man Enough podcast?
I got it. They sound interesting.
I'd argue if you watch, I love the Man Enough podcast because they talk a lot about masculinity and understanding what being a man is, and Jason Wilson's battle cry and Cry Like a Man. Some of the best reading that I've ever read in my life. So shout out to the men. Shout out to the boys.
So last question I'll have for you before I get into the time capsule questions, because we only got like a couple minutes. 3 hours is the limit because the camera will stop.
Whatever. This is all right. I'm gonna go crazy.
This last question I had to ask, just to know how you feel about it.
Okay.
Tell me if you think it's true.
Okay.
Women control access to sex.
Okay.
And men control access to marriage or relationships. Is that true, and how do you feel about it?
This is a touchy topic. Okay. Yes, I believe that is okay. I believe that is a very okay place.
No, not okay. Is it true?
Is it true?
Do men control access to marriage?
I would say in a straight cisgendered relationship.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't think that. I think that most women would even agree that they don't want a woman to propose to their man.
That's like when they say, "Oh, women can pay for a first date." Yeah, she can, but will there be a second date? But does she? Exactly. You know what? Exactly. A woman could propose to a man, but will she?
But I do believe it's true. And sex is just
women obviously control.
Yeah, they obviously control that. It just is what it is.
Yeah.
Like
that's all I'm saying. All I'm saying is that they want to act like men don't got no power, but we have power. You ain't getting that ring. You ain't getting that ring, that man, unless we deem you worthy.
Hey,
unless we deem you worthy.
Or I'm gonna say it different. Unless we have a mutual and clear understanding of one another to the point where I believe that we can truly spend our lives together in harmony.
Yeah,
that's what I'm gonna say. I'm gonna clear that up.
For sure. That's what I'm saying. I'm gonna leave it alone. I'm leaving it alone. But you know, men, you got your power too.
Yeah.
You know
Shout out
mean?
to the men.
All right?
Honestly, like for real. Every man on earth needs to know that you got this shit.
You do.
And just because, you know, there are so many different things in life that can take you away from you living, you deserve to be here.
Yeah. And the other thing I didn't get to say is that I forgot to say with the men's mental health, whatever. The male suicide rate is 3 to 4 times. It's literally 3 to 4 times.
That's why I say what I say.
The female suicide rate. Mm-hmm. And with all the strong men I've ever heard of in history, like whether it's The Rock or whatever, you name the male celebrity, you name them. I don't know, Michael Strahan. I don't know, whatever man you want to name.
Yeah,
I don't think I can ever in my whole life ever remember any man getting up when he won an award or anything and talking about the male suicide rate.
Yeah.
The only people that maybe talk about it are veterans.
Yeah.
The war, people that went to war. You know what I mean? But yeah, there are people that didn't go to war that still, you know, it's okay. I'll leave it alone.
No, but because we could really cook, and I know you got 4 minutes.
I know.
Men, you deserve to be here.
We deserve it. So last 2 questions for you.
Mm-hmm.
What advice would you give to your 20-year-old self?
The advice I would give to my 20-year-old self is it is okay. It's okay. You are doing your best. You are doing your best. You can only do your best. And you don't need to please everybody. If you are a 20-year-old watching this right now and you don't know what you want to do with yourself, understand that no one else does either.
Yeah. Yeah.
Fuck that bullshit.
Yep.
If you are in your 20s, you are in a prime time to be able to grow into an amazing man or woman, or however you identify as.
You're doing great, kid. Keep it up.
Yeah, you are doing amazing, you know, and it's very much if I'm speaking to myself, my 20-year-old self, I need you. It's okay. You got this shit.
You got it.
You got this shit, bro. You're from Detroit. You got this shit.
Every episode is a time capsule.
Yes.
And I wish you a very, very long life. So I wish you a very long life.
Appreciate that, brother.
If you were hypothetically, for some reason, 80 years old, talking shit, and you was like, yo, I was on this podcast back in the day, you know what I'm saying?
I love this
I was
question.
talking my shit, you know what I'm saying? So if you was 80 years old, watching yourself back in this podcast episode, what would you want to say to yourself watching yourself back at 80 years old?
I am so fucking proud of you, dude. I'm so fucking proud of you, bro. You did it. You fucking did it, bro. You did it. And you did it your way. You ain't compromised yourself for nothing, and you were a stand-up dude. You were a stand-up man, and you made your thing happen. You stood on your word, you made some great art, and you kicked ass. And I'm so fucking proud of you for that. That's what I would say.
Amazing. I respect the hell out of that.
Shout out to you.
Because, you know, anyhow I die, they don't play Frank Sinatra My Way at my funeral. Them niggas is fucked up. You know, my way. But anyway, with that.
I was trying to sing this. Can I sing this on our way out? I love this damn song. I was sitting there listening to it in the intro.
It's a good one. It's a good one. But now I would do the outro. So, my bad. So, you know what I always say to you guys? Listen, first off, thanks again for coming on the show. Appreciate the fuck out of you coming on the show.
All day, man.
There's a lot of places your ears could be. I'm honored they chose to be with me. When in doubt, use calm honesty to express your vision. But most of all, thanks for listening.
Take those rainbows in my mind when I think of you sometimes. I want to spend some time with you. Just the two of us. We can make it if we try. Just the two of us. Just the two of us. Just the two of us. Building those castles in the sky. Just the two of us. I appreciate you.